Hey,
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't edit my
like
posts.
Wish
I don't know
Jeff
how to do that.
Goldblum, like
Timu Jeff Goldblum.
yeah. I think I need to balance L's mic just a touch better.
Oh no, I'm too powerful.
You keep
Power foul?
redlining. Yeah, you keep redlining on me. It's not your fault, it's mine. There you go.
I am the strongest vampire.
It's true. Also, Redline, probably one of my favorite standalone anime.
Oh yeah.
Hello, everybody. I
hi.
am the magical Mr. Mephisto.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh my god. +1 XP immediately right now, everybody. Not because the oh hi mark, because it's a joke that's been beat to death for a while.
True.
But it just kind of like it was like an RKO out of nowhere this time, like kind of the stealth oh hi mark. It was so well timed and placed. Yeah, can we take a moment to appreciate the fact, Charles, that we started on time today?
Hi, Charles.
How's it going, Charles? The biggest Endless Elegy fan of them all.
I recovered my notes document, by the way, so I'm ready this time.
Yay!
Let's
Ready
go.
this time. So speaking of ready this time, welcome to Endless Elegy, episode 16, 16, season 2. Technically season 4 or 5.
17, isn't it? I'm pretty sure Homecoming was 16.
I thought
17.
Homecoming was 15.
Didn't you just say 16 like 10
Wait.
minutes ago?
No,
Charles,
sorry.
what episode is it?
Hold on.
It's
I
today's
thought I'd
episode.
seen...
That's what
No, on YouTube it's 15.
Okay. As long as
okay.
season 3, day 546.
Thank you,
It's
Charles.
been 84 years.
Changed.
It's been 84.
I mean, it's vampire years. It's not that long.
Well, I mean, time
That's what you
really
think.
is
A construct.
a construct. It's
Really?
bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
do you know for the
I'm alive.
majority
Also
of human existence, we didn't have clocks or watches, and we were just fine. The overwhelming majority. What do they say? Time is a slave master, and its whip is a clock. Like, clocks were invented. Clocks were invented to extract labor from the working class on a more nickel-dimey,
Sure.
You think I'm lying about that, but the
No.
time clock is
Okay.
I still have an appointment in 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The adventure's not going to
time is
get
a
better
construct.
by pulling me out of my rhythm. I'm sorry. So, welcome to Endless Elegy, episode 16. Pine, Repine, Refrain. And as Anne just said, she's got an appointment to be out of here in 2 hours, you said? Hard out, 2?
Yeah.
2 hours? Cool.
Unfortunate. Yep.
We will run until the sun comes up, however,
Woo.
or until the narrative comes to a satisfying end. And speaking of satisfying ends, Shelley.
Okay.
Yo, it is
Yeah?
it is
What's
the
going on?
undisputed Prince of Milwaukee. Yeah. So, who wants to go ahead and get our content warning out of
I'll
the
do
way?
it. I haven't done it. I haven't done it in a while. I'll do it.
Yeah, let
Go ahead.
Shelly do it. I vote for Shelly.
By the way,
Thank you.
the Prince of Milwaukee, actually, Foxfire there, Charlotte, wrote the content warning, and it was so good we still use it to this day.
It's true.
We don't apologize for butchering it every week.
It's true. The following show takes place in the world of darkness and explores narratives of personal horror. This story is a work of fiction and is not official World of Darkness material. Maybe it will be one day. Many of the themes are portrayed from a place of empathy, but may be uncomfortable to some listeners. Episodes may contain coarse language, always, sexual content, whenever Rory and Sasha want to, mental and emotional abuse, of course, violence, always, mental illness, hello, and blood. So much blood. Viewer discretion is advised. Portions of the materials are the copyrights and trademarks of Paradox Interactive AB and are used with permission, all rights reserved. For more information, please visit worldofdarkness.com. Thank you for watching Endless Elegy. We hope you've enjoyed the story thus far and invite you to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitch or your favorite player. Hi. By doing this, you will help support the show and get updates when our next episode goes live. If you would like to be part of our community, you can follow us on Twitter and join our Discord. All links in the doobly-doo.
The doodly-doo.
Doobly-doo.
And then quick recap episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is what I was made for. All right. So, the last episode, the episode before, we lost some notes, but that's fine. This episode, the past episode, let's start off with Jaq. Jaq is doing their dream walking thing. It sucks for them, but it's okay. There's a well behind them, and they're like, what the fuck is going on with this well? I'm in a car. Why is there a well? And then there's another dream, and there's a well in a different dream, and it's just there ominously. And it started when they came to Chicago. It pulls negative emotions in. It has the presence of fear. It sucks. It's a terrifying, terrifying well. We don't like wells. So then Jaq enters the dream of Liam, Christopher, who is their best friend, Chris's grandson. Chris is a saint who rescues dogs. He's a family man. He is kind. He is down to earth. He was Jaq's best friend for many years until they drifted apart because of different goals. And Liam is having a nightmare about his sick grandpa, Christopher, Jaq's best friend. And Jaq is like, this sucks, but it's okay, and I'm gonna reminisce with you. And then they reach out as like the dream is ending to like grab Chris's hand, and boom, they see a little bit of Liam's waking perspective, and they're like, uh-oh, this wasn't supposed to happen. This is specifically what my sire said would be a no good, very bad situation. Also, there's a well in Liam's screensaver because the fucking well will not leave Jaq alone. And then it's Wretch time. Everybody loves Wretch time. Wretch drives Ashley to Sasha's apartment.
The well. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead with the well.
Yeah, so the well is also hasn't been seen only by Jaq. Ashley Dame has witnessed a graphic match of this well within her sort of auto draw.
Yeah, but we haven't talked about that yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Go on. Sorry, I just want to make sure that like.
No, I know that out of character, but Jaq doesn't know that.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go on. Do your thing. Me interrupting an artist at work here. I'm sorry.
So, Wretch has on a tuxedo with the sleeves like ripped off, probably stolen off of a corpse, but we love that for him. Apparently he stalked Sasha's apartment when he was deciding if he wanted to be friends, which again, we love. Icon. He is a legend. He is the moment. We love Wretch. Ashley has a cryptic conversation with Statty, and Statty is like, stop trying to get rid of me. What the fuck? You're not going to be able to do it. And by the way, your twin, came out of something horrible. Guess what? You did that. You pulled her into existence. Also, there's a Celtic tree of life that's been destroyed. It's the Milwaukee tree, which we figured out. Charles figured it out. Yay, Charles. Everyone applaud Charles.
Yeah, Charles being a super fan.
Thank you, Charles. So then Ambrose might be Banu Hakim, which is fun. There's an elder, because like we all did various checks. There's no elder. Oru Shulgi, I think is how it's said. That's how I have it written down in my notes.
Shulgi.
Or Shulgi. Okay. He's rumored to be a child of Hakim himself. Absolutely insane power. He's active somewhere. Who knows where? The Shadow, but not us. That's a reference to some old audio dramas. Go listen to those. They're also comic books. There is a revolution within the Banu Hakim for So Urshulgi is a secret infernalist and might be related to the moon cult shit. Whoa. There's also a package addressed to Ashley with maybe Ashley's handwriting. And first slide is following the car. They get illusioned, and one guy Resident Evil's another when Sasha shares his senses. Yeah, and so then like the whole car is just like, nope, we're done. And then it Resi 2's itself. And so the box that Sasha has, Jaq dates it to late 1800s, early 1900s. Yes, it is a movie with Alec Baldwin. Thank you.
It was Ashley's box, not Sasha's.
Yeah, sorry. Ashley's box. I have Sasha like a little further down in my notes. Eyes flick to Sasha. Sasha is everything. Sasha's love, Sasha's life. So the Ashley's box is dated late 1800s to early 1900s, Germanic culturally. When Ashley opens it a little bit further away from the group, the box contains a dainty middle and index finger of someone. A ring that Andrea once stole is on the index finger. The fingers probably belong to Andrea. The note in between the fingers says, "It's been a long time, Ashley. I hear you need help. Help only the family business can provide." The handwriting is Ashley's, signed with an elegant A. There are flashes of Ashley with a twin sister, mindfucky stuff. Statty shows up and says, this is a direct quote. I wrote this down as you were speaking because I'm the fucking best. Do you know what you've done? You haven't just fucked me, Ashley Dame. You fucked yourself and your whole city. Do you know what you've done when you pull a soul that shouldn't exist from the nether, from the abyss? In 1,000 worlds and 1,000 stars, do you know how you get rid of something like me? And then he's like, fuck you forever. Which is not a direct quote.
But should
Wow.
be.
Wow.
And then we get on a boat, and then we go to the island of Jeff Goldblum, and everybody's weirded out, and Ashley's like, I've seen this shit before, and just sucks on some people.
One of my direct quote notes is Ambrose is a dick. Also, the island is affected by goblin roads, and all of our watches are different times. And Theo, who Sasha knows is there, and we love Theo, and Theo is sad that Sasha came back and wishes he could leave, but he can't leave. And Ambrose is very scared of something, but that's like deep therapy stuff. And Jaq picked it up because Jaq is very good at looking at people and being like, what are your secret motivations? Yeah, and then there's Cenobite shit going on.
Huzzah! And that's where we are.
Right on. Right on, right
Last
on.
time on Gossip Girl.
All right.
Jaq is an insight monster, which is how all of my characters are. And I said Jaq would not be an insight monster. And Anne called me. Anne was like, no, that's not true.
You lied to yourself and everyone else.
I did.
Yeah.
I am not an insight monster.
Stop it. Get some help. All right. And Cantabot is dancing. That was a pretty thorough recap.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just know you well enough as my friend. That's all. It was just me flexing my knowledge of you from our friendship and just like, no.
It's been years that we've known each other at this point. I have never played a character with low insight.
It's been 84.
It's been 84 years.
Like, I mean, insight and perception, or whatever their parallels are in various systems, are usually the two most useful skills, except for Cthulhu.
Yeah, you don't want to see shit in Cthulhu.
You don't want to see shit in Cthulhu.
Play a blind
Cthulhian monsters. Let's see what's up with this island.
Yeah, it's Cenobite time.
So the last we left off, there was some Cenobite shit going on.
Yes.
Like blood dolls with like cracked open rib cages displaying their the goods, as it were, little easy easy access like IVs coming out of them.
Bendy straws.
Like, yeah, so like they have their own bendy straws. A a bunch of blood-rich food on the table that will that surprisingly does, even if you don't have the background merits for it. You can gain as though it were a blood bag sustenance from like eating the suckling pig at the table.
Well, that sucks.
All right, Anne, you are now in charge of tonight's adventure. You're running it. I'm done with these puns. You all need to be punished.
Oh.
Can't stop.
All right, Anne.
This is abhorrent.
No, I'm
So we're
So you're at this you're at this
looking.
diner, and Jaq's insight roll on Ambrose, this odd obliviousness to like the human condition. Okay, how long has Jaq been kindred for?
Jaq has been kindred. How long has Jaq been kindred? This is like me not knowing my own age. Like about 54-ish years. They just lie about it.
Oh, so you see, I believed you that you were older when you lied about being older.
No, Jaq was lying.
Yeah. Oh shoot! Wow, you got me. You've now earned 1 extra XP for the whole coterie tonight because you even got me. I have your character
Charles
sheet,
knew.
and I bought into the lie. I'm like, did I misremember that you wanted to be a young vampire? And
No, Jaq is a young vampire who just lies and says that they're older to get like street clout.
so that can actually be a very bad thing in.
Oh, I know.
Because it also means that like other vampires might, want to diablerize you or
they don't do it normally. They were
Come
trying
after your
specifically to impress Ashley Dame.
Okay. So
For being young? Okay.
No, for like
By
being
being-
older than they are. They wanted to
Oh.
seem like cool to Ashley.
Okay. I was derailed by your excellent lies and reflecting on them. So I'll just kind of restart the thought. Ambrose's obliviousness to the human condition is a product of from within your insight, and you're sort of like, you've been trying to get the lay of kindred society, and god damn it, we lost Anne. Of kindred society and all kinds of things, and there is malice within him because he's embraced his beast. He's embraced his beast and so on and so forth, and kindred, I should say, embraced his beast. His beast is more potent. His humanity is much lower than it should be. Than it would have once was. And that just makes you a little bit more vicious, a little bit more of a predator, a little bit more of a creature whose survival is tantamount to the feelings and status of others. But that the actions of Ambrose have a disconnect. There's not really a malice in them. It's important to note when you're understanding Ambrose, he's very in touch with his beast. Oh yeah. Speaking of, I have something very, very special planned for the finale of this season, which will be late June is what we just around there.
Holy shit, that's around my birthday.
So chat gang,
Mid-June.
and I'm just gonna say, Statty will be present at that birthday party.
Woo!
It's
Statty!
about all I will tease with that. But the point is the point is like, the malice of Ambrose isn't in how he treats humans per se. This is more of a neglectful pet owner vibe. Not a good person if you neglect your pets and shit. But like, it's not like the same as somebody who beats their pets, right? Like it's a much different vibe. And I think that's really important as we go forward talking with Ambrose. You understand that, like, the malice of Ambrose. What's Ambrose's last name? It's a really sweet last name. Sorry,
Creed.
Ambrose Creed.
Yep. That was
Oh
the
my-
name you gave me.
What a sweet ass name. Oh, I gave you that name? I thought you came up with that
Yes, you did.
one. Wow.
Yes, you did.
Wow, past Mephisto. Way to go. That's a really dope ass name. Um Speaking of, this is the new Vampire Notebook because I lost the other one, so I'm recompiling my notes. And if there are any continuity errors, blame it on the timeline skip, not the fact that I lost my original notes for this chronicle. But Ambrose Creed's malice doesn't necessarily come out in his treatment of others. I am not trying to make a case for Ambrose actually a good guy, bro. Like, that is not that here. It is Ambrose doesn't seem like the type that's just gonna, like, okay, here are your beds for the night, here's your beds for the evening, like, see you in the morrow, and then like cackle and close the door, and then you're like murdered in your sleep. That is not Ambrose. Okay, there are certainly kindred. Right now, he absolutely is 100% committed to being the dutiful and great host. But God, is he fucking weird at it, okay? Like, he thinks that this spread is, like, princely. This is becoming the, PB&J. God damn you, Michael, you got me doing it too. Prince Kevin Jackson is here. This is the spread he would put on for him, like, he would find ways to make sure that it's not like a masquerade breach, and that, like, the island is totally shut off from any kind that aren't like blood dolls and so on and so forth. But you get the vibe that he is, like, proud of this. This isn't like come on into the festivities, and then, like, wraps the fingers and, like, watches you get grossed out and, like, cackles about it, and that gives him glee. He's like, he almost seems like he's insulted by Michael just kind of like leaning away and, like, grabbing some, like, normie food. It's there because he understands that, like, there are, younger kindred that eat that still. All right, so that's my first time doing it, by the way. Wow.
Ashley is just at one of the little cushy tables with a blood doll, just sucking it at the wrist.
Yeah.
You could also see somebody insulting his feast and his spread and his honor and that thing, and then him just, like, waving a hand or something and, like, having someone dragged off. You could also see that. Because
Hooray!
he's almost emotional. His emotions aren't attached to, like, caring about life. It's about the party. It is about the aesthetics. It's very Toreador-esque, warped and weird and creepy, but very, like, Toreador, like, almost live or die by their ability to throw on a mighty fine shindig. He's kind of got that going on.
Yeah.
So,
well, good for him.
So, real quick, Ashley, Dame, we'll just real quick kind of reset what everyone's doing at the welcoming feast. Ashley, Dame, one more time, is suckling at the wrist of one of these.
Yeah, at a blood doll, just like, y'all have a problem. I don't.
Did you grab one of the Cenobite ones, or did you grab like a Greek god or goddess or?
I grabbed one of the ladies that wasn't all out.
Cenobited up. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not
She's
all
like, I do
that,
it old
mind you. That
school.
was
She's
just
like,
to
I do it
get the
old
shock
school. I
factor.
just bite from the flesh. I don't need all the extra doobly doo.
No bendy straws
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Jaq.
Well, last session Ambrose did provide a fresh pig for Jaq.
Yes,
Or at
because you
least
were
said he was
super
going
like
to.
yucked out. Yeah.
Yeah, we're waiting for the pig. Yeah.
Okay.
So Jack's just kind of next to Rory, looks at Ambrose, gives him a little bow. Appreciate the hospitality, Mr. Ambrose.
One more. Like the Greco-Roman like gods and goddesses and stuff like that. The like androgynous beauties and the otherworldly, almost alien beauties, and like there are some of those around too, interspersed throughout the Cenobite. It's actually kind of part of the Cenobite vibe. Anyone who plays Slaanesh knows exactly what I'm talking about in Warhammer. So like it's just this like this alien concept of beauty, but I mean part of that would also be like like these like Olympic like specimens of physicality, because more than anything Ambrose is obsessed with the like I'm gonna say human form, but like that the humanoid form. Like he would totally give the Conan speech that James Earl Jones gives about like the human body when Conan meets him when he's finally grown up. And yeah, all right. So we got the waiting for the suckling pig.
Yeah, and just kind of like being as close to Rory as possible and trying to maintain the like politeness as much as possible.
Okay, close to Rory as possible. Speaking of Rory, what's Rory up to?
Yeah, I do believe that we were actually like holding hands in our mutual discomfort.
Like
Yeah,
just kind
we
of like
were.
reached over, like
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God, what's happening? Yeah, suckling pig sounds great. Thanks, appreciate the offer. Oh God, and again, and constantly trying not to look at the horror, because every time that fire lights in his eyes, and he's trying to keep it cool.
I wanted to do my own soundboard thing, fireball whatever fireball is quote.
Yeah. Fireball that knockoff Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. So you can notice that Ambrose Creed has kind of fixated on your discomfort. His lips are kind of beginning to twist and purse and do stuff, but what is Sasha doing most importantly? I feel like the lighting of this room would be primarily fixed on Sasha. This is her homecoming after all. If this were a film, right?
So-
Like we've got the other characters, the camera's panning past, and then it's gonna settle on this like
Fireball.
So
the
she
man.
hasn't
there it is, fireball the man.
been here. She hasn't been here since she was a consensualist, right? So there's a very kind of weird dynamic now.
Okay.
But she in the past has not wanted to be witnessed while she was eating. So it's the sort of thing that she's like, how can I get myself excused out of this situation just like I used to?
So yeah, so
So
Sasha maybe didn't partake in the parties, or maybe even wasn't allowed in the parties because you hadn't achieved the rank, to be part of the parties and stuff
Sure.
like that. And
And
far as the
I,
consensualism, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I think she would have tried to. She was looking around at the blood dolls.
These blood dolls
Like,
would
I think that's
theoretically
where
be
we left her,
consensual.
just trying to pick one out, but she hasn't picked one out yet.
Mhm.
And I think she speaks up and she says, I really do appreciate the welcoming feast. However, you know that I'm not one to partake in front of an audience.
For me to believe times had changed you a little bit. This isn't. I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise, but I always viewed our suppers as more of a bonding experience than anything else. Or he says the word ritual. more of a bonding ritual than anything else. Not ritual with a capital R, mind you. You know, like in the
Lowercase.
lowercase r in the like Christmas is a ritual. Like
I think
if you have
Rory here is the capital though.
more akin to a more or like honestly more so it's those sort of like maybe personal family like get-togethers. That's the connotation, but also subtextually Rory hearing the capital R in ritual.
Mhm. If it were the case, truly, you would have let me partake in them more often when I was here.
Sasha, that these take a lot to put together, and they are primarily reserved for special occasions. Your hesitance to indulge always made me trepidatious to put one together for you. Your graduation, so to speak, would have been one such occasion, but you waved it off, and I was being respectful of your wishes. Still, we
Hmm.
did and still do encourage family meals. And
What Ashley just kind of per peeks up from her rest. What's the special occasion now?
homecoming.
How did you know she was coming beforehand?
Forgive me if I'm wrong. I thought you had actually kind of reached out the legitimate channels.
No,
On the
I
boat.
sent
Oh,
on the boat.
on the boat. Yeah.
Not beforehand. Like, I don't think Sasha would have
That
given him enough
weirdly
time
long
to
ass boat
actually
ride
prepare.
gave him plenty.
Hang on. No. I got this. It's like you're right. It is. I did throw it together rather last minute with that boat. With the boat call, it would have been better, larger pig, and all that. He says.
Interesting.
I'm afraid that
You
this
can
is the I don't want to call them B team, and he like puts his hand over like one of the Cenobites, and like kind of like strokes their hair and down the feeling the like sort of purposeful notches of their spinal column that are actually like kind of disgustingly out, right? And he's like, I don't want to B team, but unfortunately, I could only really summon the B team for this occasion. They usually fill up this hall much better. And, he's got that, like, long table, as I mentioned before. But it really is kind of featured on that. There might be... Normally, I'd have the hookah there. And he points at all the empty spaces out and around that could have been filled up.
You're a fucking weird dude.
Does Sasha see, maybe a favorite kind of vessel, like a big buff muscular guy, more in that, like, did Ambrose remember, hey, this is what you like, or is it just kind of, was it genuinely
There
just
are three
haphazard?
of them like sort of there are three of them like behind him in varying like outfits, because he's not sure like what you're into now, but like
One has a
recalls...
toga.
Yeah, like one's in a toga. Yeah, absolutely. One's like dressed up like a biker, and one's dressed up, before. Like one's in like, like a nice business suit, but like it's like so business suit, biker, toga, and like
Taco Bell t-shirt.
casual like jeans and a t-shirt kind of vibe, right? Like they all look like like they're all like varying degrees of sculpted, but they are definitely sculpted. The swollest one is actually the one in the business suit. The second swollest is the one in the toga. And they're just kind of there, and he's like almost as if he's waiting for you to ask him, and so he can serve you personally, which is a high
Yeah. So I
high
think what
esteem.
I think what she says is kind of in a kind of like a challenging sort of tone of voice, she kind of says, "Do you even remember how I like my food?"
Well, he looks over to the huge and impressive specimens, and hand it. Ambrose would recall. I do not. We haven't
Because
had
I
this.
didn't tell you. No, but if he just I'm gonna go with it. She looks so he presents them to her, correct?
Yeah, like personally, like walks them over to you. You know, which is he hasn't done this for anybody else. Like he's sort of pointed and gestured for the
I'm good.
meals.
Sasha
The
stands
pig,
so
by the
that
way,
her
whilst
back.
this conversation is going out, has been brought in and brought over.
Sasha
Yeah, go ahead.
Sasha stands with her back directly turned to her coterie, just so she doesn't like they don't see her face. And she picks out the guy with the business suit.
Aw, yeah.
She grabs the tie and pulls him down and whispers, it's too early. It's 10:30. 12. 12. I can't do it earlier. Ang aga-aga eh, di ba 1 o'clock pa ang bukas mo.
So, real quick, the pig is brought out whilst this is happening.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I by
Sasha
the way,
pulls the guy
I had your
with
back. I muted you quick.
Sasha pulls the guy's tie and just like quietly whispers in his ear, just smile and nod, and just like smile and nod with like the underlying tone of like or else. Sasha essentially wants it to look like
This
he's
is
giving
the
consent.
definition of a subterfuge, by the way.
That's for manipulation plus subterfuge.
Yeah, this is the definition of a manipulation subterfuge roll.
I feel like I should be rolling against this or something.
Why are you rolling against this?
I feel targeted.
Yeah, go ahead and roll against
I
it.
feel targeted.
So resolve or
I have a question. Can I ooh, can I if I hot girl, does my hot girl merit count? I add 2 more dice, right? I'm hot girl.
I'd have to
Scary
read
hot
the
I
I would have to. We're
stunning.
doing manipulation subterfuge. I will allow it here. I'd have to read the wording of it for the official ruling, but for
I'm targeting
cleanliness and quickness sake.
Yeah. Well,
Go
I'm
ahead. Yes.
I'm targeting him to like convince him to play along, right? So that's the
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
can I arouse the blood to add to my
This is
manipulation?
a lot of
Yeah,
that
for
to
your-
convince me you're still a
Everyone
consensual.
theoretically should have begun the evening with like 1 hunger, apart from like the couple of checks you made on the boat ride over and things along those lines.
Yeah.
Because we
Perfect.
reset willpower and blood last session.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do the roll. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Holy shit. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 successes.
Jesus.
I'm not even going to roll his opposing check. He smiles and nods. It is a deep, sort of like full one of those full face smiles that sort of lights up the whole face. Every muscle gets involved. The eyes sparkle, and he whispers back, "Name's Terry, by the way." I'll do whatever you want, miss. He says, Miss Dawson, I'll do whatever you want. This man, Terry, the blood doll, and potentially Ghoul, is putty in your hands for this evening.
She takes.
And I'm trying not to picture
partakes.
Terry Crews.
She partakes.
Stop killing people that I know.
You actually know Terry Crews? Is he as adorable and wonderful IRL?
He's incredible.
He seems like it, and
Terry
when he
Crews
spoke
is
out against
cool.
SA,
He's the coolest dude.
He's incredible. I love him.
Good.
Stop killing people I know.
I said I didn't
Stop
mean
knowing
to.
people.
Yeah, stop knowing people. How dare you?
Right.
But, like-
So Sasha partakes in just.
I wouldn't be the one
enough.
killing Terry. It would be Sasha. Sasha
Sasha-
nips him. I'm sorry, I talked over that a little bit. Sasha does something just enough. What was it?
Sasha partakes in just enough to like sate one hunger, even though she can't. She doesn't actually need it right now. But she just partakes in enough for like not to be messy, and then she says,
A look of
I like
ecstasy.
you. I'll see you later, maybe.
The smile warps into a look of ecstasy as you slake one hunger, and the pure euphoria of a vampire's kiss takes hold on Terry. See you later. You said, I'll see you later. He nods, and he goes and sort of stands sort of like off behind you somewhere, like just sort of hovers. Not hovers. Hovers is the wrong word. This is a dutiful, trained, again, potentially a ghoul, doing his goddamn job like a professional. He is not like, it's the right amount of distance, right? Like not hovering and creepy, but not so far away he can't react and help you if he needs to, or be there promptly enough if you require more blood, right? But he does have a little bit of that like glazed look on account of the vampire's kiss. Like it is euphoric to kind. Like
Sasha just looks at Ambrose, almost surprised that he remembered. Like, you know what I mean? In her recollection of her experiences in this place, she'd always been like the rebellious one, the one that was trying to leave, break out.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's almost that feeling like, oh shit, you were actually paying attention. Wow.
So Ambrose with his small tangle of chest hair, you can see from the he's got this like ostentatious robe, this thing where it's like it's this red what's a better, like a less tacky material than like velvet or whatever.
Silk?
Maybe silk, right? But it would be
Chiffon?
more substantial than that. What's that?
Chiffon?
Yeah, chiffon. Is that
I like chiffon.
I feel like chiffon. Sure. Yeah, chiffon robe. This and it's got that like sort of built up collar, right? And it's definitely has a shimmer to it. When you're standing away, it looks like it's just this shimmer and there's sheen. Why it has like multiple colors, like the way silk catches light and it's lighter and darker. Well, any material catches light and it's lighter and darker. But upon being closer to him, you realize it has these really intricate patterns sewn into it. And he's got this nice little tangle of chest hair, and he's sort of like got one goblet, one chalice in one hand. Of real and actual wine, Alsatian, because he's not a monster. He's definitely a monster. And he's like reached over, like he's got a little straw between his lips, and like an IV. They're more like IV, like the IV tubes. He's got a little, and he's like, like finishes up, and he reaches down and grabs a napkin that he's laying across his lap and dabs the bit of blood off of his lips. And he, I could never forget you. he says, almost as if he's reading your mind. You're the most memorable of all my disciples. Chat gang, I got to address this one. I try not to live chat vocally. Is he wearing the Hugh Hefner smoking robe? It is if Hugh Hefner were Dracula. Like that's the robe he's rocking, right? Like it is this.
Gross.
Oh no.
I think Ashley's gonna perk up at that and just say, Ambrose, we haven't had many interactions.
Miss, he addresses you the way you would have been addressed at like Elysium and stuff. Was it Miss Dame? Is it like Madam Dame?
When is the question? What time period?
The most recent time period.
Oh, it would have been Miss Dame.
Miss Dame. He would go by like things, like whatever you were known by. Like you've run into Ambrose in the last like 50, 60 years. Ambrose has been at Elysium a few times. Less like voluptuously robed. More in like a really nice business, usually like really nice, not so much business suits, but like really nice like dress shirts and slacks, like really really nice, like I don't know, Prada or whatever has been in the fashion of the time, right? And always he has like some sort of little detail of like customization to it. So if he's wearing like a Prada shirt, it'll have like some hand sewn details in it that look really really nice. Or he'll have like the double pinstripe slacks where it's like it's a pinstripe with a phantom pinstripe, and then the standard pinstripe, like, so it's like pants pinstripe and then a phantom pinstripe, and you're like, wow, oh my god, like, so he always has that thing. And so he would address you then as Miss Dame if that's what you go as recently. You've seen him around. You don't really know a lot about him because he's, one of the Toreador, does his job, probably was up to be Harpy at one point, probably was Harpy at one point, honestly. But then he had the way it's known, and I'll let you roll etiquette on this, actually, intelligence etiquette, or relevant knowledge / intelligence skill.
Camarilla politics.
Yeah, Camarilla politics would be absolutely it. Yeah. But without the role, he was Harpy at one point in time. You've seen him at Elysium. We'll see how much more you know beyond that. So he says, address you as Miss Dame. And I forgot the question. I'm sorry, my ADHD is really shitty today.
Ambrose, we haven't interacted that often. I don't know what's been going on recently in the city. We have a we have a major hunter problem. Second Inquisition is here.
I've heard rumors, indeed. I've taken precautions if the rumors are substantiated, and I have some of my own working to substantiate those rumors.
They're not without bearing. They're very much real. We've been attacked, Sasha included, has been attacked. We were followed even this night from Sasha's home. We took care of it. We did not bring them to your island.
Appreciate it. I would really truly hate to move residences again. When you have your results. What is this? Oh, someone was quick on the draw with making that shirt. I just saw the social media or social marketing head for Vampire the Masquerade make the tweet. I kind of want it, not gonna lie.
4.
The only ethical consumption under capitalism is diablerie. I kind of really want this shirt. Like, bad. All right, 4.
Or 3. Sorry,
3. Do you want to willpower any dice?
I did willpower some dice. That is
Okay.
3.
You know, Ambrose was Harpy at one point in time, but he was, like the equivalent of like honorably discharged. He was allowed to step down because he had some other task of import to the prince, Kevin Jackson. I'm just gonna give it to you. You don't know in what way she was involved, but Annabelle was involved. Is all you know. In some like meaningful, like political way. It wasn't a bad or sour or horrible ordeal. It was more like, like I don't want to be Harpy anymore. And she's like, oh, and she went to bat for him a little bit and was like, yeah, like, yeah, he's got this important thing to do. And he was able to step down he was able to like kind of pull the impossible. He was able to step down without making enemies. You with only 3, you don't recall what it was. You don't know quite how it was pulled off. You don't know exactly what Annabelle's role was in it, but he's just something foggy about that. Again, in the 50 odd years he's been here, maybe 60, maybe 70. I definitely see him in like a 1970s tuxedo, right? Like with the big ass lapels. So he's been here since like the 70s. So yeah, 50 years about. He's been relatively quiet, which as a Harpy sometimes mean you're damn good at your job. Like scary good.
I understand that hiding on your island is way easier than interacting with the court occasionally. But we could use your help. And Sasha can go over the the details, but as someone who once held a position within our city's Camarilla to someone who holds one now, don't you want to protect your city?
I assure you, Miss Dame, that I am taking strides to protect my city and my fief. And therein, why don't you roll a politics persuasion or manipulation, depending on the tact you're approaching this with.
So you're already aware then of the situation and the monumentous task that's been assigned to us by the prince.
As I said, I'd heard some things about the Second Inquisition. This First Light business is, you have to understand, a little more grave and different. You were the ones who brought the information to the prince, is my understanding. And trying to substantiate that takes some resources, he said. You have to understand, as a kindred looking for First Light, it can be rather precarious going through the normal channels. The blowback can be quite devastating. But you have to understand, Sasha, Miss Dame. He looks at Jaq and I'm sorry, Rhodey. that not all threats are Second Inquisition based, and sometimes there are incredibly grave threats that must be seen to. When you
6.
have a
By the
watchtower built to watch something quite specific, that's where you sink your resources. 6?
6.
Ooh. Him letting slip that when you have a watchtower about something quite specific is part of your persuasion, your politicking, but the watchtower thing, you also, as part of your sort of politicking, gather and understand that you kind of put 2 and 2 together with that die roll. He's talking about a threat in Lake Michigan, and that he's here dealing with that, and you sort of like get the like reading between the lines of it.
Oh, I should have
That
added my war sheet then. Fuck.
You get the reading between the lines of it, and it's you think he just said in so many words that his job isn't to worry about the Second Inquisition. Like, it's everybody's job, sure, and he's not like shirking his duties as like General Kindred, right? It's everyone's job to hold up the traditions, to defend territory, to listen to the prince. But he's been tasked with something specific, and that takes a lot of his attention and time. And in that respect, it probably comes from someone higher up within the Primogen Council. You're new Primogen. In fact, you're a Primogen that shouldn't exist. The Ventrue have a prince. They're not supposed to have a Primogen. The fact that you exist as a Primogen spits in the face of some of the other Primogens. And you haven't spent a lot of time talking to the Silver Tower. I assume off camera, like, you're doing some Primogen-y stuff and talking to the other Primogens, right? But your general vibe has been like, it's like when the new money goes into the room with all the old money to, like, I don't know, buy a senator, whatever they do. And
Which
like,
is funny because she is old money.
I know, but you're not. But like,
Yeah. No, I get it.
But you haven't been an insider. You might be old money in terms of the city, but you haven't been an insider within the Silver Tower. And that's a different energy.
I understand you
I have a question.
A mission.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go.
No, I was going to ask the ST question, but go ahead.
No.
Finish the RP.
No, go. Ask the question.
I just wanted to ask. I wanted to ask if Sasha would have had any inkling of like, when she hears the whole Watchtower thing, if she would have had any inkling about what was going on there.
I like that. So roll a recall based check. Again, and so this is a house rule. Everyone's familiar with it. You can roll etiquette in any social vampire situation, and it just does weird stuff. So you can roll an intelligence etiquette.
Okay.
You can also roll streetwise int. Etiquette is kind of like bardic knowledge.
No,
in vampire situations,
sure.
It doesn't go as deep into like the things that the actual skill would, but it lets you have some reference point. I'm mentioning that for L's benefit. L, at the mention of all of this stuff too, you want to get in on the politicking, you want to listen, you can be rolling, you can roll a politics int, or even wits politics. If you roll int, it'll be one type of information. If you roll
willpower to reroll 3 dice. Let's go, baby.
To kind of like,
I'm gonna use wits for my politics.
Wits then would be like a cursory, like, sort of like deducing.
Okay.
Like you're kind of deducing and reading between the lines.
I think that fits more for Jaq, because Jack's not going to know the like backgrounds as deeply yet.
Right.
So I think that they would be more focusing on like the vibes based of the politics and not necessarily the history of it.
Okay. Anyway, I had a couple questions going on. Sasha's 3 successes to Watchtower. Is that what you're? The gravitator, and it
Yeah,
was a
like
recall
does that
memory.
like in
Okay.
terms of
You seem. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, does she
You.
know anything about that from being there?
Yeah. So Ambrose is not an open book. Very few sires are. I know everyone's shocked. I know. Ambrose is not an open
Oh
book.
no, for
So
real?
what you seem to recall in terms of Watchtower, and it's not like you remember the exact words Watchtower or whatever, but you do remember him mentioning like his job or his role and like getting into like arguments with like maybe some of the primogens or some that came to visit at a party or some like maybe at Elysium you were his +1 just because as a sire he also needs to acclimate you to vampire politics. So he would take you to Elysium in, and so on and so forth. So you kind of remember these conversations sort of are not the word Watchtower specifically, but like my job or like the task you bestowed upon me or something along those lines. Uh and how do I say this without saying it? Yes, you recall him talking about it. Like having some purpose. You also recall it perhaps being some sort of trade-off. Like a task of convenience. A quid pro quo.
Something that he was told to do because the other person couldn't be bothered. just do this for me and I'll do something else for you later.
Oh no,
Something
it
like that?
definitely something of import. But yeah, something like someone else is like, well, but now you do it. Like and you didn't like necessarily pick up on the I didn't bring up the harpy thing specifically to you. But
Did
I
she?
will say
No,
sort of broadly to
Sasha would not
everyone
have known
that
about
that
that.
that what is
I was about to
you
say,
might
would
have
she be
remembered.
old enough to know?
No, you wouldn't be old enough to know that
Yeah.
that he was the harpy, and he wouldn't necessarily like. It's the sort of thing he'd bring up if he got drunk, but he wouldn't be drunk. Like, Ambrose is one of those people who is always in control. Like he's
Mm,
always in control. Like that's not to say he's controlling, but he's always like he views like it's the sort of person, the sort of nerd that would say my body is my temple, right? He's
Ugh.
with that like obsession with like
Freaking what is it called?
straight edge douchebags.
Straight
No,
edge.
not quite
He's-
straight edge.
But
But like but they
High
drink
edge.
light beer when they go out with you, and it's like why even drink? Like, or the skinny girl vodka or whatever. No, the good stuff in, good stuff out, like the meditative, like my body is my temple. I'm not knocking that. I kind of used to be that.
yeah.
But it's like not controlling, in control. Likes to be in control of himself. Likes to, uh like yeah. Anyway,
sure.
So he wouldn't do that. Like kindred can get drunk; they have to like imbibe a lot of blood from drunk kine. But you've never seen him. You've seen him do that like a couple times, but it's totally the sort of thing where he would have like definitely been like, if he were drunk, been like, yeah, I was harpy once, like you could almost see that sort of happening. But
Okay,
again,
Grandpa.
So
but yeah,
you don't
but you don't know about the harpy
so
thing.
you don't think he would have Yeah, you
No,
don't think he would have done that
and
intentionally around her. Like he was keeping this from her intentionally.
yeah, he would.
No, kid, you're not allowed to know.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that he was keeping
Okay.
it from you
Sure.
intentionally. Yeah, he was keeping it from you intentionally. There's no other way to say it. The fact that he had this job, this watchtower, this role. Yeah, like, uh, except for his like
She
the
doesn't
sort of
know.
people that help
Okay.
him run the island, he wouldn't tell people about it. And even the people who help him run the island, they wouldn't necessarily know. Only the ones who would have like very specific jobs within his like watchtower would know. The ones that like they have to know that they're watching out for something, or like there's just no way they couldn't not know that they're it. As far as the harpy thing, and this is just like the kind of backfill I want to give to everyone. Harpies aren't like really elected or appointed the way that other roles within the Silver Tower are. Harpies become harpies because they're already kind of doing the harpy thing and they're good at it. And then so like harpies are like the trendsetters, the ones who spread the gossip or they're like it would be a mistake to think that they're simply messengers. It's not so much messengers as like again, trendsetter is the right word. Like propagandists. They're already doing it. And then the prince of the usually just goes, "Okay, you're a harpy." Okay? And that's what's unique about Ambrose's situation, because you become a harpy because you're already doing it and you're good at it. So stepping down from something that is sort of like oh shit, you're a harpy, to kind of give you power and a position so that like studies actually shown, which is kind of cool because vampires way onto this beforehand. One of the ways you help control people is giving them a job.
Yeah.
Like so inmates who are unruly, like give them a job to do that gives them power over others. They become less violent and so on and forth. We've done a lot of studies and shit like this. Students who have problems with teaching and learning, or with learning, give them a role where they're like teaching other students and stuff. So that's what's unique about the harpy thing, and that's kind of backfill for Ashley in particular. Ashley, you had a skill roll in there as well, or you had a question in there.
Yes. I was going to RP some, but also a question that
Yes.
we could get to later because, yeah. I understand you have a task to do here that you've been told is of great importance. I am not saying it isn't, but could you lend some of your, and she like looks around at the like, I'm sure there's like security at this.
Yeah, I mean, there's like punchy Cenobites,
Yeah.
like in like Voldos, except bodybuilders around. Voldo from
Yeah.
Soul Calibur.
I'm sure you have highly skilled warriors. I mean,
I love that. I
and
turned
she
that
just
into,
points
like,
at Sasha and says, I mean, you trained her so well.
he legit did, but also
Yeah. We are going to, I'll lay it on the line. We are going to attack head on the Second Inquisition, and we need as many people as we can.
I can provide you with shock troops, as it were, for lack of a better term.
I don't mind that,
However,
of course.
I can't just let them go. You need to earn them. Sasha understands what I mean by earning privileges on my island, on our
What is this,
island.
blood in, blood out type of
Fight-an
situation?
tournament stuff. Like you have to like
Yeah.
fight and earn them, and some sort of martial. Well, Sasha, perhaps you can explain. How do you earn privileges within our community?
It's not that complicated, actually. You fight. You show prowess and skill, and you prove that you can handle yourself in the outside world.
I'd say Excellently put. I'd say it's going to take a show of spectacle and what's the word I'm thinking? And physicality and no, it's spectacle and prowess. You show a display of spectacle and prowess. There are, what, 4 of you here? 4 contests, I suppose, of spectacle and prowess.
Sure.
He over-enunciates prowess. Prowess.
At the Fight Club. Got it.
Also,
Oh,
before we
man,
forget,
he makes
real
your
quick,
Fight Club just... Oh, he
He puts that thing to shame.
he puts it to shame.
5
shot.
successes on the wits politics roll for Jaq.
Okay. I don't know that you know anything. You wouldn't know anything that he used to be a harpy because that's a history thing of the area. You
Jaq hasn't
are,
had time to really sink their teeth in the history of this place yet.
yeah, but you are gathering that of politics. This might be a duh thing, but it is social chess. And Ambrose, for his proclivities and oddities, is putting off like ranked level chess. Like he is, when I say ranked level, like they actually use elo in chess. Like and to even be to the stage where you have elo in chess, you have to like win. I think you have to win at like a masters in your region or like a regional or something to even start getting ranked. Before that, you're nothing. You like, even if you're the best chess player in 20 chess clubs, it doesn't mean crap if you don't win a regional. That would be like in Magic the Gathering, you have to win a Star City Open. Like,
sure. I don't know.
and you're getting the sense that he is good at it and that there is a conversation going on within the conversation. There's like this sort of like subtext. And I'm going to say that you sort of pick up on some of your coteries like subtext conversation going on with Ambrose. Like, so you haven't, so it would not be metagaming for Jaq to understand some of what's going on and weigh in on some of the conversation and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything specific
Sure.
you would like to know in the situation? Because you did get successes. Sorry, I didn't cutting off your
5, and Jaq is mostly trying to figure out what is the best way to not... I don't think they want to impress Ambrose, but they certainly want to... They want to figure him out. They want to try to see behind the like peacocking and the coat, and they feel like they started getting there with their first roll, and now they're trying to zero in.
Ambrose is oddly and deeply about furthering Camarilla goals. You don't get the why of it. You don't get the like, emotional connection of it. But like Ambrose is very interested in maintaining and or advancing the Camarilla agenda. I think that's a very good. I think that touches very much on what you're asking without.
Yeah.
Ashley, you were saying something.
Oh, you're muted.
Are these going to be against other kindred, or are we?
In no sense, yes. You got to keep in mind violence against kindred. Other kindred must be controlled or sanctioned. Sanctioned is the word he used. Violence against your fellow kindred must be sanctioned within Camarilla territory. Of course. Don't kill anyone who happens to be kindred, but we'll start out with something a little light.
sounds
Something
fun.
creative.
Are these individual contests, or are we fighting together?
Yes. He gives like a wry smile.
So, great. All right. Ashley just takes out her little stilettos. I can't promise anything.
In the interest of what we have on the table and the stakes as they presently are, I would like to engage in an individual test. I would like to put my skills and prowess on the line.
I can think of 3.
In a more pronounced way.
Well, there are 4 of you. 4 rounds. You're volunteering for the first round, it seems. It is a homecoming.
I'm volunteering for a test that carries more weight.
What do you mean by more weight, my dear? No, he doesn't. He's not a my dear kind of guy. What do you mean by more weight, Sasha?
She looks over at her coterie and she says, you know where my strengths lie. I know where their strengths lie. I earned my freedom here. I can earn whatever privileges the coterie requires.
Go for that.
I feel like that would almost be like a bonus round or cheating. I'll tell you what. I'll allow you to supplement. He gives like a that big wry smile again.
Jaq
I mean,
kinda
it wouldn't be
elbows
much of a
Rory.
challenge if you. It wouldn't be much of a challenge if you just did the thing you're good at for funsies. So
I wouldn't mind putting myself in there as well.
Oh, he's got something for all of us.
I'll tell you what. I like the idea of a sniper challenge. And by a sniper challenge, I mean a sniper trying to torpor you. Somewhere on this island. Just you, Sasha. Shotgun versus a rifle with 2,000 foot range. That's a challenge I want to see. Fine.
What's in the sniper rifles?
Just bullets. Enough of them, not really a threat to Sasha's life, but enough of them will perhaps make sure she wakes up in a day or two understanding that she failed.
Where's she gonna wake up exactly?
Her old room.
Back home.
You're welcome to take her off the island. But this is for, like I said, this is a bonus round. We'll start with this. You win, or depending on time, we can say you go off and do that thing, and then we can do the individual rounds for everybody else, right? She goes. Should she succeed and not end up in a light coma, I'll give you an advantage in the final challenge. A clue.
So
You know, in
closing that
another
final
life,
challenge.
they didn't call me Ambrose. They called me a Grand Master of Ceremonies.
Motherfucker. And now I enjoy how you say lagniappe as much as the next person, but we do gotta have some idea of what we're going into, otherwise how can we be prepared? After all, we have some idea of what we're going into with this combat, and if this is a way to prove ourselves for the combat, we should have some idea of what we're going into.
I think you gotta convince Ambrose on that one. So, charisma, persuasion, or charisma manipulation, depending on.
Can I use fast talk because Jaq was like.
You're like fast doing the Cajun thing where you need like you need to turn on subtitles to like understand. Yeah.
Jaq was purposefully trying to both talk faster and sprinkle in like a couple of French phrases, specifically Cajun French phrases, because even like Cajun French, it'll like take actual French speaking people a second because the pronunciations are so wildly different.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll off your fast talk specialty.
Fantastic.
You're talking about this. You specialize in fast talk, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yeah, like you basically trying to like use fast talk to get him to agree to something he doesn't realize he's agreed to.
Exactly. Jaq is trying to just like snap at this dude, and then he's like, "Yes," and Jaq's like, "Great."
And at some point in all this, before actually ingesting the pig, I want to have tested the blood for shenanigans.
Okay.
Like taste for blood, make sure.
Yeah, roll your taste for blood.
3.
Nah, it's swine blood.
Pig? All right.
Yeah, you're good.
That's fine.
All right, that is 7 successes.
But 7 successes noted. But you'll note Ambrose quirking a brow as you do the taste for blood.
Yeah, it's sort of like
a sort of
a little bit, and then
a sort of sirens.
Yeah, my bad.
Hello, sirens.
No, you're fine. One second.
Mm.
320. Why am I off tonight? Oh, right. I remember why I'm off tonight.
Okay.
One moment. Rory, roll a wits awareness as you roll a insight, wits insight as you do the blood tasting. And then back to Jaq. They got 1 million successes on fast talking.
They got 7 successes at fast talking because they're very good at fast talking.
I assume empathy does not apply.
No. So it might apply, but this man has 3 humanity, or like there's just he's more beast than man now.
Oh, that's just a straight up bestial failure.
Oh,
2 skull.
Sorry, I took your good rolls, Michael.
Not for lack of trying or lack of like a resistance to fast talking. In fact, you get the sense that Ambrose Creed is not easy to persuade, is not easy to manipulate. You get the sense that he's like he's really himself good at perception and picking up on folks, but maybe he's distracted by staring at Rory or whatever. He kind of like does a I want to give you the result of your roll first, but understand that it's kind of happening simultaneous to what's about to happen
Yes.
with Rory. Okay.
Understood.
Okay. So that might throw off the timing. He kind of goes, no, it would make it more interesting, perhaps, if you have a certain, I'm going to call it an advantage, but an understanding would be more entertaining. Sure. Why the heck not? Was that the sort of thing where he was to tell you now or like in the build? Oh, no. I got this. Once we finish dinner, why tell you when I can show you?
Understood. Thank you very much, Mr. Ambrose. I do appreciate that consideration.
No, thank you. And it catches Rory. Now Rory with a bestial failure. What's your hunger at right now?
Before eating the pig, 3.
Yeah, so it would have been like as you're about to eat the pig, right? You tasted it to check
I
for
was
shenanigans.
I was testing it. And I was about to turn to Jaq.
Man, Rory's
like,
beast is
"It's
the
safe, you
beast
can
I'm
eat it."
usually the most consistent with voice on. So let's see if I get there.
You got this.
Hey, cuz,
Mm,
this guy's a freak.
really? You just figured that out?
What was the bestial failure actually on? The
Wits insight.
Tasting the blood.
on
Yeah.
the wit's
Yeah.
insight of reading Ambrose's reaction to you, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Bestial failure. Like you can't put together his look. And it's not exactly like when people say crit fails in Dungeons and Dragons, like, oh, you totally misinterpret the thing the opposite way. Or no, so that's not quite what happens. You just don't get a read on Ambrose. He's actually quite good at not being read or manipulated, as previously stated, but some people just roll 7s or whatever. Like 3 or 4 times throughout a social exchange. And yeah, cuz I know. Drink blood, eat Taco Bell. You ain't exactly for there it is. You ain't exactly for partaking in the proper kindred festivities. But you gotta admit, this guy should probably go down, right? And if you want to understand Sasha, some of his blood will go a long way. You could read a lot into the man. Get a little of his blood, cuz. Or a lot of his blood. This, with your bestial failure, sounds like a great idea. This is the best potential diablerie has ever sounded. So many secrets. Look at that man. Look at him. Secrets wrapped within secrets, right? What's Rory's current willpower? Like if you've
7?
you have 7 and then you have like your
I spent 1 last time. Yeah.
So 6, right?
6.
Is your current willpower then? Yeah. I should free willpower. Roll those 6 dice. You cannot willpower a willpower roll, so there will be no right, and you can't surge it.
4.
This sounds like a pretty great idea to Rory. I'm not going to say full on diablerie, but like drinking some of his damn blood sounds like not just like a little nib for taste for blood, but you're thinking you could conjure a ritual with sort of off the back a taste for blood. If you had maybe like a pint of his blood, like a proper amount. It'd have to be fresh, of course. You could really learn these secrets. There's them secrets. Heck, look at these things. Look at these constructs. these. No, he didn't say constructs. Sorry. Look at these. Look at this meat all around us. You know that ain't no light hand, light touch. He knows some magic. He knows some old shit. Roll occult intelligence. See, Rory's bestial failure is making him see even more magic. Because he's a magic addict, right? So,
Magic!
Jaq is just so excited that their fast talk worked. They're like not processing this. They're like, yippee, I'm doing a good job.
Blood magic specialization?
Yeah,
no.
probably. Oh.
No.
Parapsychology?
No.
Ooh.
Sorry. No. This is its own school. Sorry. You're
Yeah,
outside of that.
Mage. That's my hand motion.
You may now, rouse your willpower. It's fine. You just can't willpower or rouse your willpower check.
Boo.
Is 2.
Whatever it is, it's not.
I think
Despite the Cenobite having kind of like a biotech sort of look about it, sort of like a future, what the 80s dreamed the future would look like, right? Kind of vibe to it. What do we usually call H.R. Giger's art? Biotech, right? Like bio whatever. Like, despite it having like kind of this like proto-futuristic look to it, this is old magic. This is something you don't know what it is, but there is magic there. Somebody shouldn't have their like spine on display and still be walking around, right? And they're not in pain. None of these folks are in pain. To the contrary, they seem to be in that, like, when a vampire's kiss is ecstasy for kind. They seem to be locked in a permanent state of ecstasy in their state. Like, some of them are like staying off moaning, just like standing in the corner, like vibrating in ecstasy. Like, you didn't maybe notice it before because you didn't want to look, right? You kind of kept your eyes down, clung to Jaq, right? Like, this is off-putting or unsettling. Maybe you didn't want to look before, but your beast has called attention to them. You can't help but look. You in fact, as if it's a storytelling system and I'm forcing you, you can't look away from them now. You can't stop looking at them. You can't. Maybe it's that, like, that car wreck thing where it's morbid curiosity or whatever. Like, you're repulsed, but you can't stop analyzing every single strand of leather, or every single strap of leather, or every single surgical bag, or whatever is going on with each and every one of them. Your eyes drift around. This is old magic. Something different.
Well, should we get this show on the road? We are burning night lights.
I've always been one for a good show.
I'll tell you what. I will have you shown to your rooms first. That way I have time to prepare the
Of course.
show. When he says show, he looks directly at Jaq. Get cleaned up if you need to. Ashley has daintily and feasted the old school way, right? But it's blood. It gets in places. Yeah. You have you shown to your rooms. I hate the word compound. He would call this something other than compound, but like, I'll show you your room.
Home.
Yeah. Show you rooms within our, and I don't want to use
The
word
manor.
commune because I'm an anarchist and I don't want to sully that
The-
word with
the
what this
manor.
is. Yeah.
The manor.
The Resident Evil
Grounds.
manor.
Grounds would perfectly be what
the,
you said.
the,
Yeah,
the
we'll
grounds.
show you. We'll have your rooms. We'll
Yeah,
show
okay.
your rooms. Escort you to your rooms within the grounds. That'll give me time to prepare the show. Very pointedly looks at Jaq when he says show, and then we can be on our way. Your visit, honestly, is turning up to be one of the greatest surprises I've had all year.
Let's
I'm glad.
Excited.
And she smiles. She smiles like very tightly, like forced smile. And she says, you mentioned private lessons. Is that before or after this whole uh, trial?
After. That would be a bonus, I think. And he gives that
Because if you have the
smile
time,
again.
I'd like to have a moment with you.
And he sort of his facade of the
Mhm.
you know bombastic showman cracks for but an instant. And you pick it up
Are you sure
specifically
you
because
can't?
he is somewhat of a father figure to you, right? In the way when like if you were to see like a parent at work, and you see parent mode come through just for a second while they're otherwise, ruling the roost or whatever, taking orders or whatever they're doing at their respective job. For an instant, it cracks. Oh yes, and private lessons and conversations, and that conversations. The way he says the word conversations. Ah yes, private lessons and conversations.
Let's be
but
real. I've always been the favored child.
oh, not always. He smiles.
Well, you don't mind if I take one of these and
Can
she
Sasha hear Rory?
Oh.
Can Sasha hear Rory making Rory noises in the corner?
Making Rory
Angry
noises.
Rory noises.
Rory
Am I?
he doesn't look okay. I'll give you that.
I think you need to. I mean, you can look at him and you can see that, like, you see Rory and you see Rory's, like, sort of like, gawking or whatever. You see that. Roll a wits awareness, however, to maybe pick up specifics in the murmurings, or try to like, figure out some like sort of inflection or whatever to his persona right now. His vibe, like a proper vibe check is going to take a roll.
And
I
almost
don't
as
think
an
she really
afterthought
is.
while he's just
I don't think she's actively like trying. I
Does she
just
get
mean like
extra
in
dice?
passing, like ambiently.
I think she should get extra dice.
You get extra
Because
dice
of-
because you have a specialty in dat ass. Rory.
Yeah, that ass.
that ass.
You can have
That
two
ass.
extra dice.
I
Not
only-
even one extra die, two.
I only rolled. No, I rolled. I only rolled one. One success.
You maybe can't pick out
Okay.
like specific
Just like ambient noise.
words. It is a,
Not a lot of words anyway.
it's a big room and there's a bunch of stuff and going on, but you see that like shimmer of the beast in Rory, like he's not like 100% himself right now. Jaq, on the other hand, just so the audience can maybe pick up some words, what are some maybe it might even be like fragments, it might not be complete sentences, it might just be like a word here or there. Are there any murmurings that Jaq can hear? Because Jack's like right there.
Yeah, Jaq is right there. Do I need to roll?
You don't
for
need to roll.
anything, or does Jaq?
You don't need to roll.
Has
Jaq
special ears.
You don't. Jaq doesn't pick up the beast vibes necessarily because you don't have a specialty in
Nah.
Rory.
But you would definitely, and everything
And
he
that
would
ass.
say, the tidbits of the conversation with the beast, Rory's part of that was definitely out loud, like quiet under his breath, but still out loud.
Mhm.
So you definitely would have heard that. Just a lot of like weird growling.
The grumbles, like the
yeah.
Okay.
And like
Funny.
as he's about to like lean into the pig, almost as an afterthought, he just like turns. You can eat it. It's safe.
Thank you, Rory. Hey.
And he just
Jaq kind of
dives
reaches out
into
with
the
his hand
pig
on
while
Rory's.
still like eyes unblinking, staring at all of this bullshit.
Jaq is taking like tiny
yeah.
little dainty bites of the pig and has like a hand on Rory's shoulder and just kind of like tilts their head a little bit.
Okay.
It's a little bit like a dog looking at you and like trying to figure out what's going on when you're clearly upset, but the dog cannot process human emotions. And it's just kind of like,
Okay.
I think Sasha's whole vibe, I think she picks up a little bit, but not enough because she's distracted. It's like ambient roaring noise.
I mean, there's
She
a
doesn't
lot
know
going
the
on here.
specifics,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's back there.
And you do see
Like
Rory.
ambient roaring noise.
You do see like Rory come back to his senses, over the course of the murmurings and the stuff, and your bestial failure is prominent, but the whisperings of your beast within your skull rattle on for a while, even after the sort of conversation exchange. That's in that sort of discordant way that the beast whispers just horrible shit to every one of you, that it whispers to every single kindred, that in that way that reminds you that you are not human every day of your unlives. And that would be a
I
great
think
like
Sasha has
sentence to say, we'll be right back after about a 5-minute break on. But what does Sasha do?
I only have 20 minutes. I kind
I
of just want to
understand.
power through it.
I
But I think
understand.
her energy.
But
I think
have
her
to,
energy.
I gotta
Her
text
energy.
something for Molly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think her energy is just like, pay attention to me. She's got that big like bratty child energy now of just like, we need to talk, and I have some shit I gotta say before everything goes down.
Yep. And then Ashley, you've been holding on to something for a while here.
Ashley's just gonna be like, okay, cool.
I know you take one. You want that one to.
I'll grab the same.
Evolve.
She'll grab a new one, a new girl, and just be like, up here, cool. All right.
Can I have this one to go?
That's so funny.
Like
Yeah.
from my room.
I'm just gonna take this one to the room. Is that okay?
Like
Bethany.
Ambrose Creed
Yeah.
seems pleased you ask. Like, oh, absolutely. I wouldn't be a very good host if I denied my guests snacks and libations into the evening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll just follow one of the people up, I think.
Yeah, so you're not sure if they're ghouls or like, well, they'd probably be ghouls, honestly. Like 4 ghouls come up, and they're like in an anime where the watercolor backgrounds are gorgeous, and then you have the main character is like super heavily detailed, and then there's just like a bunch of like people in the background who aren't detailed in between the main character and like the landscape. Just 4 generic ghouls. I'm sorry. Just I have hammered the descriptions pretty hard this one, and I'm just
lead the way.
Well dressed, not Cenobites. You're led through the compound to your rooms. Your rooms are all like so this is a quote unquote compound. It's multiple buildings on this island. Okay. You have the sort of giant castle pagoda Pan-Asian, central location that you went to. It's not just the dining hall. If you I know I'm switching cultures here, but like how Viking halls are always depicted as having that one huge feasting hall. That's kind of what was going on there at where you were, but on that primary building, there's also other rooms branched off of it. So it's got it's the huge feasting area. The commons is like the central main thing within there, and then there are rooms and chambers. Chambers is a better word for it, honestly, that branch off of it. You could see while you were sitting there and feasting that there were doors behind some veils that were draped down for the ambiance, right? You could see a door there and a door there, where the ghouls came out from. There was a door back over there, things like that. As you sort of you move beyond that major primary building, and all the much smaller buildings are sort of like to the rear of it. This is an island. There are woods, and you can even make out like the little peaks of some buildings sort of deeper in the island. But within this sort of main facilities area, you have a large, what would be like dorms, and you're led there. There's actually two of them. One of them is, you can tell, is obviously more lavish for guests, and the other one's not exactly crappy or anything, but it is, a noticeable step or two down from the lavish ones you're being taken to. And then there's a couple other buildings here, all within decent walking distance. And at the center of it all, there is a well. A well that Jaq immediately recognizes. And Ashley will roll either wits or intelligence awareness.
Okay, at this point, Jaq knows that Ashley has like some shit going on with fey creatures and stuff, right? Because they've had that conversation.
Have they had that conversation, Ashley?
Nope.
No, so you don't know.
I imagine that they had that conversation. They had it in my head.
We mentioned fake
Awareness.
And
awareness and intelligence, wits,
resolve.
resolve.
Intelligence or wits. Your call. I'd even accept a performance art, by the way.
Of course, now I roll good whenever I don't mean to. 4.
Something about the well reminds you of that center point of your drawing. You can't quite place it, though. As far as wells go, it is like sort of an open top well. There's not like a little winch for a bucket to go down or anything like that, and it is open. Rainwater would just go straight down into it. It's a little bit larger than you expect a well to be. Yes, a body could easily be tossed down it.
Yeah, she's not gonna go look in there.
And
right
it is slightly overgrown with like like one side of it's slightly overgrown with like some moss and despite the like, this well is the oldest thing the oldest structure, quote unquote, on this island. I don't know if it counts as a structure, but the oldest human crafted thing. The bricks, you can tell. And Ashley, I think Jaq could roll too, like either a history.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's not called. Where is it? It would be academics, right? Or,
academics?
Yeah.
Intelligence academics?
Intelligence academics. You could also roll occult intelligence.
Can I use my fires and floods and Devil's Night lore sheet?
Explain to the audience what that is.
Your knowledge of Chicago disasters is rock solid. You're a trivia buff. You know dates and details and have written listicles on the strange.
No.
On the strange, but true facts about the tragedies. No?
You know, sure. But this isn't like our reality tragedies or facts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is World of Darkness facts and stuff.
Could I use my artifact specialization in occult? Because it's technically an artifact.
It is. See, the term artifact doesn't mean necessarily like a ancient goblet. An artifact is like cultural artifact means something else.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I just
Okay.
do a well.
That's decent. I got 4 successes.
3.
3 and 4 will both have a similar, albeit relative to their, more relative to your role understanding of it. This well does not look of the like era, period, time, style, anything of a well that would be built in middle America, anywhere in America, quite frankly. Even if like ye old country came over here, like European immigrants from wherever, or because there's a Pan Asian vibe going on, or China, or wherever, this does not match the construction of somebody who would build a well here. Wells have function to them. The way you build a well is has a function to it. How you build it, how you brick it off, how you dig it, those are all relative to like the topography you're dealing with. And the type of brick material you might use, and the type of masonry skill you exhibit would have a cultural would have a cultural like influence that isn't syncing up with the area. This well looks distinctly Gallic, and it is as if it was ripped out of the ground and then shoved down into it. Like you were to drive the way you would drive a post for a fence into the ground. It is as though this well has done that. And it is ancient. Not ancient, like, pre-civilization ancient, but, pre-Renaissance. Pre-Dark Ages. Like, it is old. And again, you would use the materials in your area if you were to, again, wells tend to be, they're functional. This well looks functional, but it does not sync up as like something immigrants would build with like local materials using their technique. It doesn't sync up with like the materials of the area, but it also doesn't, I don't want to over describe it.
Yeah. Jaq is going to head towards the well, but I know that Anne is running low on time, so if there's anything that Anne wants to do
before you hunt the sniper, before you hunt
yeah, there was a conversation, but I wanted to, because I wanted to have it before, like dangerous stuff happens, but also like possible diablerie. So I don't really know what's going to happen. So I guess it'll all just be in flashbacks unless we can crank it out in 4 minutes.
like Ambrose can hang out with you. Like Ambrose will be the one to escort you to your room specifically, right? Like, and
yeah. Or wait, no, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think it'll just have to be dealt with in flashbacks at this point because I have like 4 minutes. But
so my
I should probably go before they start yelling at
so
me.
my idea is that you go
Soon.
and do the bonus round hunt, and then we'll deal with that next week. So you'll actually do
Sure.
the sniper hunt, and then
Yeah, no, it's just a matter of setting up the conversation. Mostly because I've been thinking about this conversation for 7 days and I really fucking want to have it. So
okay.
we'll figure it out next week. I gotta go. Well, I could have probably just had it in front of everyone, but I didn't want to. That being said, have a happy diablerie, maybe. See you later.
Yeah, peace.
Bye.
Good luck.
Bye.
All right, now we can go to break.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack's just heading to the well like a good horror protagonist. Or horror character that's
I didn't catch what I didn't catch what Ashley may have been doing.
going
Not
to her
going away.
room. She's like, that is a conversation for another day.
Mental note
I've
of the
got it.
well.
Yeah, I'm not doing the well thing right now. Nope, not right now.
Gotcha. All right.
So
All
what's
right,
a pig do? I assume pig's worth 1.
To the break.
You can be a little bit better than but yeah, blood bags. All right, so we're gonna take a real quick intermission, 10 minutes, everybody. We'll be right back. Enjoy some Castlevania beats, and remember to like and subscribe and tell your friends about this awesome show.
Mm-hmm.
See you soon.
Woo.
I have a hotkey. Yeah, it'd be a little bit more substantial than a rat or a blood bag. So,
Yeah,
but you
suckling
can't
pigs pretty
go
hefty.
down to 0.
Yeah, no,
You
for
can go
sure.
to-
Yeah, but I was at 3, so put me back to 1.
I'll let you get to 1. Yeah. Although it was a
Absolutely.
smaller pig. Roll a d10. Luck check. Like the whole, like he made, like I mentioned, it was a smaller pig even last episode.
Yeah.
And then this episode, it was reinforced where he was like upset he couldn't throw together a better party. What was it?
Not a success.
You're looking for 6, and
Yeah. So no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no. Sorry, a mere 1.
One's
Again,
fine.
he was really upset. Plus, you shared it with Jaq. So
Yeah, Jaq had some pig as well.
I thought we had our own pig, but okay.
Stuck
No,
in
it's
traffic
one
already.
pig for the both of us.
All right,
2 vamps, 1 pig.
Where is my? Oh no, it's like, was that a 2 girls 1 cup reference?
Yes.
Oh god, -1
Oh.
XP. No,
No, you can't do that
I'm old enough. No, I won't take away XP. But I am old enough to like.
No, I am
Yeah.
too, homie.
Like I was there in the original. That's even second wave internet memes. First wave internet memes was Tub Girl, and I was there for that too.
God, can we not?
If
No.
y'all are innocent and don't know what I'm talking about, congratulations. I got to add a thing because I can't just have an empty frame there for. And talk amongst yourselves about Diablerie and Golconda and stuff for a minute. And
The Diablerie is cool by me.
Yeah. I really like Data's poetry from Star Trek Next Generation, and I think that people are way too mean to Data.
I just
That's
started
true.
watching. Is this it? I think is Game Over the one. I just started watching. What's the thing? Picard.
Yeah.
Strong start so far.
I like Picard. My favorite of the Star Trek series is Deep Space Nine, so I'm hoping that one day we'll see Cisco again. I miss Cisco.
I
know
think
he's Space Jesus.
You
but,
could
like,
make a Star Trek episode and call it Cisco, right? Like you did with Picard.
Yeah.
I think Deep Space Nine.
Cisco, but yeah.
I think Deep Space Nine is objectively the best one, but my favorite is Voyager.
That's also fair. Voyager is, I think,
it was
probably second for me.
I like TNG. Like TNG is. How do I say that Voyager's my favorite, but also TNG is my favorite in a different way? Like
I think that's
how it works.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Like they're not both on the same level. This is where, like, when I say like my favorite wrestler of all time is Kenny Omega, my favorite current wrestler is Eddie Kingston. And so like I get to have 2 favorites simultaneously with a distinction.
My favorite of all
arbitrary
time is
distinction,
probably
TNG is also my favorite.
Nice. Yeah. I really like TNG. I like a lot of original Trek, but I think that's mostly because I love Captain Kirk, because I read all of the books, and Captain Kirk in the books is fantastic, and Captain Kirk in the show is fun if you ignore the William Shatner of it all. And so I really like Captain Kirk, but he is not my favorite captain. My favorite captain is Picard is I think he's third. Cisco, Janeway, Picard.
Does Cisco count? Because isn't he like an admiral technically?
He's
a captain.
He starts as commander, hits captain.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to give you an out to not have to choose your favorite son. You know, like
captain.
I don't have to choose my favorite child. For me, it's Picard, Janeway, Cisco. Kirk's actually the lowest on my list. Like I would
Arthur.
I would and
all right, then.
And the what is it called? Enterprise? Not Enterprise. There's
Discovery.
Yeah, the other CBS one. I thoroughly enjoyed the first 2-3 seasons of it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched anything after the first couple seasons because I watched it all and then I didn't have any because it was either writer's strike shut that one down or something or pandemic, so they didn't release the next season. And then I heard that the next season was really bad, so I lost my I wanted to preserve the memory of it being great in my mind.
Yeah. That's fair.
And so I'm like, I don't want to watch any more of this. I was satisfied.
I have a lot of feelings about the current Star Trek show, Brave New Worlds.
Haven't seen
Strange New Worlds.
Or Strange New Worlds, yeah, Strange New
Never
Worlds.
did my AFK
Because
show.
I think that a lot of aspects are really, really good. And there are like 3 aspects that bother me so much that it makes me irrationally angry every time I think about it. And those 3 aspects in no particular order is Chapel's characterization, Spock's characterization, and the fucking Gorn.
Oh, that's the one where they brought Kirk back, the Kirk from Discovery, right? And
yeah, my babyest boy.
I like that. I do like that version of Kirk, by the way.
Yeah, he definitely encapsulates the like book version of Kirk that's very like orange cat who's using the one brain cell of all orange cats.
Like I do like actor man of originally of Kirk. What the heck is his name?
William Shatner.
I do like the Shat. The Shat is thoroughly amusing, but like
that's fair.
When you're enjoying William Shatner's Kirk, you're enjoying William Shatner. You know what I'm saying? The Kirk played in Discovery, and again, I haven't seen the Brave New World or Strange New World, is thoroughly good. When he shows up, he actually has a gravitas, despite having to deal with Shatner's fan base.
Yeah.
Which is an insane task, right?
It's wonderful. And
everyone would be angry at him forever.
He continues to be one of these standout parts of Strange New Worlds. It's just there are 3 things that bother me. So thing number 1, because we're gonna get into this while you're doing stuff.
No,
this is actually a Star Trek stream now, you guys.
I'm sorry. So Homeboy's headshot is of him in Star Trek gear here, Michael.
Yeah,
so I think it's
so. Thing number 1 is Chapel's characterization, because Chapel, her backstory is that her fiance went missing, and so she joined Starfleet to find her fiance. She is in Starfleet actively. She has not yet met her fiance. They are not engaged, and she is fully in love with Spock, who is also fully in love with her. So already we are completely disregarding her backstory, and we're doing it in favor of like taking away the queer coding of Spock, which is not fun. We don't love that. So that's my main issue with Chapel. Also, they're turning her into like.
Speaking of queer coding of Spock, I didn't mind the Chris Pines like 2 out of 3 of them anyway. Star Trek movies. I thought they were.
No, I thought those. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Abrams verse. So Chapel, it also turns her into like this weird soldier, which is not what Chapel ever was. She's always an empathetic nurse at heart. And like
who's
she
Chapel?
goes,
I'm sorry, like
Nurse Chapel from the original series. She's the nurse on the Enterprise with McCoy.
No, just a doctor.
So
Jim. Like, damn it, Jim, I'm just a doctor. The Bones.
Yeah,
it's Bones and Chapel. Okay, gotcha.
It's Bones and Chapel. So Chapel, they turn her into like this weird veteran soldier person, which I always love more veteran stories in media. I think that we need more veteran representation.
Watson in the Cumberbutt, the Cumberbutt Sherlock, or Watson is a veteran medic.
Afghanistan.
Yeah. I actually thought I liked that series too, and I thought what they did with Watson was good.
It doesn't work for Chapel's characterization specifically because she is someone who does not support violence and is very like anti-violence, and that's part of the reason why she joined Starfleet as a nurse specifically.
Well, Starfleet's they're not supposed to be a military entity.
No, they are not, which we will put a pin in that and get back to that in my third problem.
All right.
But yeah, so Chapel, they really alter her characterization, and I get that they want to have like the moment of like strong girl boss female lead, but I think that women can be strong and also empathetic and vulnerable, and they don't have to have combat skills to
That's
be
why
strong.
Marge Gunderson is one of the best like female protagonists. I know she's a cop, but she rarely her coppiness isn't about the violence. It's about like her like keeping order and investigation. She's more features as like an investigative detective in the original Fargo. Like she's pregnant for fuck's sake. Like she's she's pregnant and she's like a girl boss, but like it's not her violence that makes her awesome. It's the fact that she's the only one who isn't an idiot in a world of idiots.
They do a weird like glorification of drug abuse within veteran communities storyline. Like the drug abuse makes her stronger, which is not how that works.
I mean, how do you know? Have you ever done a ton of drugs in space?
I assume that it's not how it works.
I mean, if you had tried a ton of drugs in space, you might get power. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe I'll get more powerful. Anyways, then we're getting into Spock's characterization. Spock in the original series, Nurse Chapel is pining after him, but as a projection of her dead fiance, who she's still searching for, because her fiance is a science man who's very logical and like reasonable, and she leads with her heart, he leads with his head. And so she sees Spock and she's like, oh, you're just like my fiance who is missing and everybody assumes that he's dead. This is somebody that I can project my feelings onto. And Spock has the consistent line of being, I cannot return your feelings. I would if I could, but I cannot physically. And so obviously the two of them have a heterosexual romance in Strange New Worlds.
Well, it is called Strange New Worlds. I have no opinion about any of this.
Yeah.
So.
See, my superpower is I have the ability to have opinions on everything.
That's so fair. Anyways,
I'm not happy about it. It's.
Well, the thing is I don't have an opinion because I maybe watched 3 episodes of TNG. And I've watched the Chris Pine movies.
That's fair.
All right.
Anyways, so yeah, that gets into the issues with like how Spock is queer coded, especially like it was pretty revolutionary to have a leading man who doesn't return the woman's feelings despite everything and keeps saying, I cannot return your feelings. Not because of like duty or anything. I just can't. Like, that's just not how I work, dude. And it's not a Vulcan thing either. It's just a Spock thing. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, it is a Vulcan thing.
It's a Vulcan thing, but it's also a Spock thing.
Yeah. Like, he has the feelings. He just chooses not to act on them.
He doesn't even have the feelings in the original. Like, he straight up does not feel anything for her, cannot feel anything for her. There is one human that he shares a deep, intimate connection with, and his name is Jim Kirk. It's not even a shipping thing. It is canon. It is, Spurk is canon now, if you weren't following Star Trek news, which is pretty exciting.
Good.
I missed that, apparently.
Yeah,
Spurk?
it's exciting.
I love that ship name.
It's wonderful.
It's a lovely little ship name.
But they could have been cock.
And then problem number 3, the Gorn. The Gorn appear in one episode of Star Trek. They are a people who the Starfleet initially assumes to be very violent because there's a Gorn captain that attacks Kirk on a planet, and Kirk's like, he's attacking me with no provocation. This is crazy. But then they figure out, oh, this is their territory, and they were freaked out by random ass people just kicking their rocks and like hanging out and parking in their parking spot. And so they sent their captain down to go be like, hey dudes, what the fuck? What are you doing? And their body language was too hostile and interpreted by Kirk and the rest of the humans as like a hostile engagement. And so this whole thing was a misunderstanding from two people who were both very developed, but developed in different directions. And they end the episode by going off in separate directions and like respecting the Gorn's territory and the fact that like they totally just broke into their house and started like rearranging their furniture.
Yeah, like
they just Goldilocks the place.
They did. And so in Strange New Worlds, the Gorn are xenomorph-like monsters who do not have any developed intelligence, and are warmongers with no nuance, who Starfleet actively knows about and is actively engaging in war. Which is, like, not anything. Like, that's just straight up not correct, my dude. Because problem number 1... Starfleet is not a like warmongering thing. They're a peaceful collection of planets.
I mean, there are going to be people who co-opt it and stuff like that for their own means, but like on the tin, like
yeah, no,
like they're
our
not
hero Captain Pike is the one who's doing this. And it is treated as a good thing because these are savage monsters who could not possibly have any intelligence.
All right.
Which is not true. Also,
speaking of not having a
nice bad segue game. Yeah.
Speaking of warmongering and having no intelligence.
That one.
Who are you segueing to?
You got it.
You, homie.
Back to the game, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
So we can kick this boy off.
All right. So you're escorted to your rooms at the facility. The where of it all is in terms of your specific rooms. I don't think is turbo relevant. But if you need to take a moment to do your thing, you'll find like wardrobes there. They have like actually like old school like armoires, like one might find in a Resident Evil puzzle.
Or Ashley Dame's house, whatever.
Sure, yeah. They're there, and like there's various clothing. Like whilst you were out, whilst you were dining with Ambrose, they were actually throwing your rooms together, and you'll find your rooms like slightly customized, not exceedingly so, but like Rory's got like a desk for like reading and some candles and shit like that, and not like spell components per se, but like there's Jack's got some like local and they put it like some deep cut lore of the local area and mapping and
some
stuff
Forders,
like that.
Some fruiters of Chicago.
Yeah, so you got like things like that going on. Ashley Dame. What would Ashley Dame have? Like, what was a surface reading of her? You have the most lavish and largest room of everybody.
As she should.
With the most like creature comforts, right? Like
big fluffy bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're all these rooms are nice, by the way.
I was expecting an empty room, so
What's that?
I was expecting an empty room.
No, so you all have like a really like lavish and nice rooms, your own like private facilities, and so on and so forth. And the wardrobes are stocked with like a range of clothing that have been sort of gathered to your size as best they can be, from like sizing up someone. So they might like fit a little awkward here and there, but for the most part, a range of like clothing and featuring a gi and some combat fatigues, as well as like evening wear and like dresses or
jumpsuit
or suit.
Not a jumpsuit.
Yeah, like a Kill Bill jumpsuit, shit like that.
All black.
Motorcycle, like a full motorcycle get up. So pretty much a range. Sorry, pretty much a range of everything.
Are there any laundry wipes, like spot cleaning?
I mean, you have a full on like this is like a master suite where you have like a bathroom attached to it, and you go in there and you find like a some Tide, what are those pens, like the Tide pens,
Tide,
like stuff like along those lines.
I'm not wearing his shit. Fuck this guy.
So you have a full facilities, and you're allowed to sort of freshen up, switch into your clothing, or change clothing if you wish. There's no like urging to. Each one of your ghouls, we sort of have like the cutaways and stuff like that, and each one of their tones, voices are different, and so on and so forth. But the scenes linked to each one of them saying, you may want something more utilitarian this evening. They say before you
Jumpsuit.
enter it, before you enter the
Oh.
room. So you enter the room, you get your jumpsuit on and clean up,
Yeah.
or so on and so forth.
Put on some probably like boots, some combat boots.
Yeah. There's a
What the
range.
fuck?
So regarding like shoe wear, there's like a range of sizes of like the same or similar style. So if like there's combat boots, you know, they'll go from like you know, sized up, you know, if you wear an 8, they happen to go from like 6 to 10, right? Like they've got a range of stuff sitting there to make sure that you have something comfortable.
Okay. Jaq, before
Probably no half
changing
sizes.
clothes, is checking out the well.
So this like on the way you stop and check out the well?
Yeah, they're beelining for the well.
Okay. Jaq like sort of like, you know, breaks away from the group, and for this little instant you're not noticed. You have a moment before you're noticed missing.
They go to the well. Are they going to do a stupid thing? One of their character traits is that they're curious. Yeah, they're going to do a stupid thing.
What's
They're
that
going to look
last
in the
name?
well.
Jack put on the well again?
They're looking in the well.
Okay. I mean, this is like more of an investigation then.
All right. Love me a good investigation.
Intelligence investigation is
Sounds good, boss.
is customary. The default investigation is intelligence.
Be nice to me. Okay. Okay. So that is 2 successes, but not a failure, which is the big thing that we don't want.
Yeah, bestial failure. You lean over to like look at a brick and you fall in. No.
Yeah.
No, that would be that's what distinguishes and wonderfully so like bestial failures versus, you know, like a crit failure in other systems. Like
Yeah.
it's not so much that you fail in a glorious and terrible way. It's, you know, the beast causes you to fail. It can even actually like you can even succeed at what you're trying to do, but the beast takes control and causes you to do something terrible in the process. So
Yeah.
it's storytelling system, quote unquote. But in case of your 2, did you willpower to reroll 3 dice if you wanted, or?
Oh, I did not. I should do that. Boop. All right.
1 a.m. is. I think we're only going to go about another half hour or so.
3 successes.
I don't want to get too far away from Sasha and stuff. 3 successes, in which case, see, 3 was the magic number.
Yay!
No. Whilst you don't notice all the awesome and terrible things you could notice, you know, the moon is. Oh, it's not, you know. You're probably on like one of, you know, crescent waning moon, you know, type thing. I'm not going to be accurate. I know it's supposed to be about December in this. I have no idea what the moon phase actually is, but it's not a full moon is the point. But it is there. It's not a new moon. And it doesn't do a lot to illuminate like the well. So would Jaq like have a cell phone or a flashlight or?
Jaq has like a little flashlight that they keep
Yeah, like one
on
of those
them
like
at all
a little bit
times.
bigger than a, you know, like a mini mag light, not the full
Yeah.
flower, like the little
Yeah, exactly.
the tube one. It offers a good amount of light in a a relatively small package, without being as small and dainty as a pen light.
Yeah.
You're flashing that light around. One of the first things you notice is they're deep down there, deep down there, there is water. There is water in the basin. With 3, it's water. However, your 3 will yield that some of the bricks on the kind of throughout have little runic inscriptions. Or symbols, I should say, not inscriptions. Inscriptions implies like sentences or phrases. Runic symbols on the bricks.
Okay, can Jaq make out any of these symbols?
You have academics, intelligence academics.
I do. Okay.
If you have any specialty in like I don't know, fairy lore or Gallic or Wiccan or pagan, anything along those lines, that would
Fortunately,
apply.
that is not what Jaq does, but that is another 3 successes. Nothing will ever go wrong for Jaq Durant.
Is that with a willpower?
Not with the willpower now.
Did you want a willpower?
The non-success was on the hunger die, so
yeah, you can't willpower a hunger die.
nope.
Remember that like I gave you like a special willpower
Yeah.
a session ago?
Yeah.
You didn't use it. I'm going to
I did
allow
not.
you to use that to just give yourself one success in the situation. I can't remember
Okay.
why it was, but it was something so sweet. I want to give you one success here. Now, as an ST, I could be like, oh yeah, 3 is totally the target number I wanted you to hit. But no, 4, in terms of like the difficulty, giving it a 3 would belie how complex it is. 4 is
Yeah.
the right amount here. So we'll go ahead and allow you to use that. Okay. Because
Okay.
I want you to know what these runes mean. So there's a sort of an element of containment to them. Like, like a ceiling or containment, or you're reading a language that's probably dead. It's not quite Gallic. It's got a commonality with it that allows you to interpret the gist of it, but it's maybe a dialect of it or a older version of it. Who knows, right? You'd have to spend time in a lab with a bunch of books and tomes, but sort of putting together sort of common glyphs and shapes, context, things along those lines. You understand that there's a containment to it, but also, let's see if this is the correct word I'm thinking of. I don't want to incept you with the wrong word here.
No.
Crucible. Containment, crucible. And there's a sort of funneling aspect to it.
Is there a way that they could like sketch,
this is an in, not an out.
Okay.
And there's a containment vibe to it.
Like it's feeding something.
And containing it, perhaps.
Okay, can Jaq like sketch the symbols really quickly?
Doesn't necessarily mean into the well, mind you. The in could be into the bricks, it could be into the island, it could be in whatever. It's again, it's an incomplete. Thank you. I know that was you trying to pick up my ice pack, buddy.
Because I think that Jaq would carry around like a little notebook just to.
Of course, yeah,
Yeah.
little moleskin or something like.
So they're gonna sketch the symbols if they can, like, very quickly.
I mean, you have a degree of automatic success regarding the just sketching symbols. I just feel that's in your wheelhouse without. But for my bemusement, could you roll a performance?
Okay, yeah.
You could do dexterity. You could do resolve, honestly, or
fantastic.
composure. Composure,
All right.
composure, dexterity, resolve. I'd allow stamina as well because creating art is a act of resilience.
Okay, that is another 3. 3 is my lucky number tonight,
Yeah,
gang.
3 is plenty for getting a, I would say, unmistakable interpretation of
Okay.
I mean, this isn't like winning an art contest style art, but your sketching of the runes and stuff like that are unmistakable. Like these are, spot on. Someone's not going to be like, is that like a earlobe? And you're like, no, it's a spiral with a doohickey on it. Like it's, like
I don't know what kind of earlobes you're looking at, but no, that's a spiral.
yeah. So a spiral with with a nubbin or something. So yeah, and you do it with the 3. You do it and sort of relatively promptly. So
Yeah.
like the coterie gets pretty much across this courtyard here. Uh, your ghoul escort has actually stopped a professional amount away from you and dutifully waits.
Jaq, when they're done, turns to the ghoul, tucks their notebook in their jacket pocket, and kind of trots over. Sorry, it's an old habit, you know? I'm
The
somewhat of an archaeologist.
ghoul's no, it's somewhat of a sight.
That it is.
I'm not quite
Curiosities.
sure how to help you with that.
Curiosity is an appropriate response, I think. A lot of people just sort of walk past it.
I don't tend to walk past much that interests me. Curiosity is a natural part of my life. I think it's one of the most beautiful things we have.
This ghoul has no thoughts regarding this, just no deeper thoughts on curiosity. Mephisto does, but this ghoul doesn't.
Jaq kind of offers a hand. You were gonna leave me somewhere?
Yes, your room.
I'm
The
Jaq Durant, by the way. What's your
coterie,
name?
um, uh,
That's a dick move.
Jaq will ask everyone their name because they believe that
I
everyone's
usually
a
keep
person.
a list of 20 names, like just so I can open it up and just pick one. By the way,
Janice.
Janice. Sure, Janice.
Well, that is a wonderful name.
Janice, and we're putting a note here. Jack's ghoul escort. It's
Yeah,
about
as a warning for you, Jaq will be asking the name of everyone that they encounter that they do not know the name of. Because
like I
they
said,
feel it is like basic respect.
come at me. I usually keep a list of just 20 names, just arbitrarily there for this exact occasion. This is a new notebook, however, so I apologize.
Hey, no worries.
Janice, your ghoul.
And is that Janise or is that the
ICE.
JNUS?
No,
ICE?
sorry. Yeah, it's JANICE.
ICE. Awesome.
And it's about this time that the coterie does notice Jaq has lagged behind.
Come on, Jaq. It's not. This place is not for those who just dilly-dally.
Hey, I ain't dilly-dallying. I'll show you what I was working on in a little bit, no?
Rory, whose beast left an impression on him. Your focus can you've noticed Jaq has lagged behind, but you kind of throughout this night you kind of haven't been able to, like, once you noticed it, once your beast took control throughout, you could say throughout this whole scene, you kind of haven't been able to, like, go too long without sort of like checking on, or checking on Ambrose, And Ambrose has a quizzical look on his face, just shy of bemused, as like has, also turned to face Jaq. He's sort of at the lead of the parade of ghouls and such, and he sort of like looks over quizzically at Jaq.
I mean, no,
not
this is
angry,
fair.
not like fraught, not like, oh, you shouldn't check the well. No, he's just like,
I am a curious cat, as they say, and you know the phrase, curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back, and I am always in search of my satisfaction.
Oh,
well, I can't get no.
Lord.
No.
Dear
I
Lord.
can't get no.
So I have a question for you,
Give me two.
Ambrose.
Go on.
I've known about you. We've crossed paths a few times.
Always a delight, even if
I
brief.
appreciate it. You can blame William for that.
Oh, I don't. I just think you're a woman who knows what she wants, and that self-actualization is something I admire in everybody.
Thank you, I think. I hate to overstep bounds with this, but you held a position within the court. I mean, it was a while ago, but
Held is a fantastic descriptor for having once been a harpy.
would you, go back if given the chance?
Not with any degree of haste. It would, if my prince asked it of me, of course.
But you don't mind being here on the island?
I don't mind a higher purpose than spreading information through sometimes non-practical means.
I grew up in Chicago.
Hmm.
I do not remember this island. Mind you, it wouldn't have crossed my path whenever I was mortal. Who had your position before you?
I surely don't know, Ms. Dame. I surely don't know. Go ahead and insight that.
Yeah, that's a. I'm like, y'all didn't do a pass out? What's going on here? Excuse me? Can I pull a bullshit meter real quick?
Oh, I want to do
What is
bullshit
that?
too.
Go ahead.
I like this guy.
Jaq can't bullshit detect at this stage. They're too far away from
Yeah,
the,
that's what I assumed.
like you're sort of simultaneously like doing the sketch, like it's
Yeah.
they're syncing up, you're catching up in
Right.
time.
Wits insight.
Yeah.
Can I add a die for ambition? My ambition specialty?
Why don't you justify to me why this features your ambition? I guess it's. I'd say it features Ambrose's ambition. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, Ambrose, because it's an Ambrose ambition, not necessarily hers.
My brain thought for a moment it was a merit, and then I realized it was your specialization. So yes,
Yeah.
you can add it. It definitely involves Ambrose's ambitions, or inversion of ambition, or lack of ambition. It's ambition related.
Okay, I do not want to blow through all my willpower. I only have so much left.
Go ahead, do it. Information is so very important.
Yeah, right now it is. But well, I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. Okay, that's way better. That's way better. Which will totally negate that fucking skull on that blood die. That's a crit. So 4 plus 2, that's 6.
And it is a
There's a
is
bestial
is it a messy
failure on
critical?
there. No, it's a skull. It's a bestial failure.
Here's a turn of phrase you're gonna hate. He's not. Oh, well, let me. No, he's a. I'm not gonna. Yeah, if it was like a human, sure.
Yeah.
Or a lesser vampire. This is a vampire who's keen and.
He's like,
How many did you say?
I got 6.
I'd say tie goes to the player, but I actually. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna make it interesting. I'm gonna. Right now you're beating him by 1. I'm gonna have him willpower. Now I will say tie goes to the player. This joust of wit and
insight, intrigue.
Yeah. See, I couldn't hand wave all this. This is.
Yeah, I understand.
You're gonna hate this response, but I will elaborate. He's not exactly lying, but he ain't telling the truth. It's not an intimate or direct knowledge of the person who had his post before. So it's like, oh, did you know them? No, I didn't know them. That's not a lie. He didn't know them, right?
Yeah.
But he knew them.
But I'm thinking, okay. But does Ashley know of them? That's the thing.
Oh, well, you didn't know about the island.
She didn't know about the.
Yeah, you didn't know about the island. In fact,
but was there somebody that back in ye old days of the 80s before Sasha was a baby, a vampire? This is because we're setting that time period. As he was dropping out to be a harpy, like not to be a harpy anymore, and going to the island and taking up that position, did somebody come back into the court?
No. And it wasn't
that means somebody who's fucking dead.
And it wasn't a direct harpy to island, by the way. He didn't just up and vanish. In fact, even now he still goes to but
I feel like there would have been like a maybe, depending on what clan they were, the person who came back to the court would have been like,
yeah, nobody returned to court for sure.
That means somebody fucking died here.
But again, Ambrose didn't exactly
know them.
It wasn't just like a boom. It was like a gradual. It's like when you're paying rent on one place and on another for like a month, and you just kind of living in two places. It was way more that style. So that would mean there's no like abrupt or obvious moment where he was harpy and then wasn't. And even how our brains sort of like condense our memories, there's no recollection of like a period like that. It's just like, wasn't he harpy? Yeah, and then I guess he wasn't. When was that? And you just it's vague.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he probably had a really, really deft hand at transitioning out of the government.
Yeah.
So almost as if had he abruptly done that, it would have been like
an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's good to know. I know most everyone in the court. That's why I ask. I didn't know about this place until Sasha, really. And even then I thought it was like some, thought of island, like, this place in the middle of the city that's kind of just an island to itself.
Oh, I could see how that would be. I could see how you'd misconstrue that. It is both an island in physicality and metaphor. We do try to, Roll manipulation politics or charisma politics.
I'll do charisma politics.
As you're
Why
sort of
not?
trying to goad a little extra info out of Ambrose here.
Is this cam stuff? So
It is directly cam stuff, actually. He's kind of holding.
So I get an extra die because cam politics.
Yeah.
Yeehaw. Okay, well, that's good, I guess. That is 5.
Ooh, beautiful. It's got to be opposed because it's a battle of wills and
It's social stuff.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Ty goes to player, and I had a crit in there. If it were a messy critical, I might have given it to him.
Yeah.
Just because, like, to see the facade crack would have been pretty cool. We'll get to see it. Yeah. So Ty goes to player again, and it's not like it slips out. It's not like it. It's like he reads the situation. And
he's comfortable.
Maybe comfortable is a decent word for it, and he weirdly vibes with you or something like that, and or maybe he's just feeling some kind of just a little different tonight, and he's just and he's like, well, to be honest, this island was a bit of a sanctum for misfit toys that Prince Kevin Jackson and before him was Loden, right? Secured to say help with the transitional period, but the Cameral has changed within my presence here, and certainly yours.
No,
The
it is definitely changed.
The kill on sight days of thin bloods and caitiffs. Quite frankly, early on, I took on a lot of caitiffs to protect them from the pariahhood of Camarilla. I gave them a place. This was a place to help them where a sire would not. A place to train them in our traditions. A place to, in our princes, plural, eyes, keep them from being a thorn in the side or masquerade breachers in the making. That was their
out of sight, out of mind type of situation.
Correct. That was their, I believe, motivation for this island. Mine was to help those who are like me once. A misfit toy.
I was going to ask, were you a caitiff at one point?
The blood knows. He kind of flashes that like I don't want to say wry smile, but it's a little bit of a, yeah, once. A little bit more of a smirk, I suppose. It is a to use the word convincing smile, I feel like is kind of a perfect descriptor with a little extra context. Convincing in both, it's a double entendre here. Convincing in that Ambrose is somebody who plays the charade of vampire politics a lot, but convincing also in terms of sincere. Like, you are convinced that, wow, like he had this moment of rare humanity. Like he for a moment he was back, years and years and years ago when he was first embraced, and he for a very brief moment he remembers that what it was like to have been human and then something else and be lost.
I
And
can imagine that as a fledgling could be very disorienting.
oh, you'll
I
meet some
was
of. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was not put in that predicament. You've met my sire.
In passing, at the very least, William
Hmm.
was it? Hated being called
Yes.
Bill, but it was fun on occasion.
Well,
Can't
he's no
say I'm much
longer
of a
with
rabble
us,
rouser,
so
but on occasion, the right kind of person kind of deserves their feathers ruffled.
hmm. He's no longer with us, but
Oh, yes, I think I'd heard about that. Uh, current events is
really,
something. I'm gonna. I've lost my grip on it a little bit, I'm afraid.
hmm.
Post Harpy status. I keep busy with the island and its denizens. We have, as I said, more than a fair share of caitiff. Mm, and I will be forthright with you.
Hmm.
My methods are harsh. It is a harsh life we live, and they are harshly taught. Our traditions, not all of them, make it.
That's understandable.
Sasha was
I won't.
impressive as a disciple. Uh, I didn't think she'd make it when she first arrived here.
She has a lot of spirit, that one.
Hmm. Like he kind of looks around, like maybe Sasha's there in that
But
moment of the
our
conversation, but
whole
we break off.
coterie is full of interesting individuals.
I believe I'm beginning to gather that. And he, at this point, has sort of returned. I don't want to say the intensity, but the um, consistency of Rory's looks.
Jack is behind
Jack has
Rory, just
Jack has
biggest
since
smile,
Jack has since joined the
biggest, most sincere smile in the world right behind Rory.
You know, whenever I was a child, my mother, may she rest in peace, used to tell me stories about this lake.
And what did she say?
Oh, she would say the most absurd things. Mind you, she got them mostly from jokes that my father's parents would make about how there's monsters down below, how there's a portal to hell.
That's an interesting one.
Mermaids will come and snatch you up.
None of that, I'm afraid. Might be more interesting were it so.
Hmm. Anyways, well, I'm excited for this little contest of abilities, contest of
Prowess.
prowess.
She
Sure.
smiles. Prowess, yes. And I suppose I was going to show you, but first your rooms and get acclimated. You're going to want something practical, something. Oh, I won't beat around the bush. Something you can fight in, something you can survive in, something you can trek through the wilderness in. He's looking at Jack as he says this part of it, by the way.
Ashley's just going to turn to Rory. You hear that? You actually have to get out of the Cheeto stained t-shirt.
There's no Cheeto in the shirt.
It's alright, I'm sure your Cheeto stained the new clothes just as fast. Jack gives a little thumbs up, like this is a comforting thing.
Damn, Jack came at you, and I'm all about it. The poignant.
The slight shade.
Yeah.
Damn.
The challenges vary. There will be individual and there will be group. We'll see if Sasha completes her little bonus task, and you'll glean an advantage to be utilized by your coterie whenever you so deem throughout the challenges. Have you ever seen? Oh, I have to say, I had been kindred for a while when he came to prominence. But have you ever seen Bruce Lee films?
Oh, he was one of my favorites.
We like to joke that the challenges are like a game of death.
Ah,
Oh, interesting.
Being a kindred is brutal. So the challenges are brutal. They are tailored to the stage of advancement. I'm afraid you're at a disadvantage. You didn't come up the proper channel. Well, I suppose Sasha did, but the rest of you are guests, sure, but strangers. And the challenges, rather than tailored to you, your advancement, have been tailored to your what you tailored to your needs, wants, what it is you're here to ask and desire. As I said, shock troopers for the Second Inquisition. That's on the line, should you succeed. And that is no small cost to me.
I understand. I would be willing to talk about reimbursement.
No. He just no. Just this very blunt. No, it doesn't work that way. That's not the rules.
What happened?
No, I don't mean instead of the challenge.
No.
After the Second Inquisition.
You don't understand. No, you don't understand.
Interesting.
The transactions here are pretty final.
If we fail, what then?
Then you... Depends on the challenge, I suppose. A longer torpor than you'd probably like. Except for Sasha's initial bonus challenge. That one, it's the bonus, no bonus. That is what's on. Those are the stakes for that. And a short coma, nothing too bad. But should you fail the challenges proper, a longer torpor than you'd like, as I said. Hand on head. You become an NPC because you're in one of the long sleeps.
Ah. Once all this is over, if we... Either way, are we going to be allowed to leave if we win, if we lose?
You could leave at any time if you wish. You could leave during the challenge, but then you forfeit, obviously, what you came to ask me for.
That don't seem like the wisest move.
He shrugs. You're in it together. As a coterie should be.
Well, my mama ain't raised no critter.
All for one.
My mama ain't raised much nobody, but you know how that goes.
My favorite book. All for one.
Oh, The Three Musketeers.
Demas was a brilliant man.
I think you bear some similarities to the man in the Iron Mask.
Not sure if that's a compliment, but...
I'll leave you to decide that one, Mr. Ambrose.
Well, okay. I'm going to go slake my hunger before we have to deal with whatever you're throwing at us.
Well, I was going to show you a little bit before you get into it proper. Then... No. Please change first. Then we'll show you a little bit what you're getting yourselves into. You can continue or not. And You must understand these challenges will take from you. Win, lose, or otherwise.
I mean, I wouldn't mind something being taken from me, but I don't think you can help with that.
This is where Sasha would definitely have a quip or a comment about what he's serious, like they take what they take from you or something like that. But she has foggy. She would kind of insist that she has some foggy recollections of exactly what it is that was taken. She just has that sense of deep abiding loss for having failed some of these challenges, like a true like she remembers. She has the loss still in her, but can't recall what was taken. It's like a recollecting like a source of trauma without like knowing that you were hurt, but not understanding or like there's a block on what exactly was happened or how bad or yada yada. Look, wear your inspirations on your sleeve. That's why I invoked Bruce Lee. I definitely like whole cloth stole from Bruce Lee flicks for inspiration for this island. Or Mortal Kombat, because it literally has entered the dragon.
Huh.
The first one. I don't know about these new ones.
Well, let's go get changed and figure out what is going to happen.
With that, we shall call it for the evening.
Excellent. 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 Most excellent.
So I know
I'm excited.
I've enjoyed this evening's adventure. But if you'd like to hear the other, the players' thoughts on it, you can find them on various social medias or join our Discord. Shelly, why don't you tell me who you are, what you've done, what you're doing, etc., etc.
Hi, I'm Shelly Von Miller. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Shelly Von Miller. I've been playing Ashley Dame, the undisputed Ventru Primogen of Chicago.
TM, trademark pending.
TM,
Let's not get sued by B. Dave Walters.
Yeah, B. Dave. I mean, you play PKJ and Chicago stuff, so really, let's get out. Let's dab it up.
I would love to call B Dave PB&J.
Oh my god. But yeah, you can find me making content everywhere. I've been a little bit slow lately about it because I grabbed a temp job, and unfortunately, it's keeping me from doing a lot of stuff. So, but you can check out my podcast, After the Table, a TTRPG podcast, where I talk to actual play performers, producers, AP groups about their projects, about TTRPGs in general, and just nerd out about stuff. The most recent episode, as of this filming, was with Vine Vox, a VTM player themselves, super great, super awesome. We kind of nerd out about VTM and LARP and everything like that. You can find my podcast everywhere you can find podcasts and YouTube. There you go. Blah.
Speaking of blah, Michael. Oh, it's blah. Wow. I want to suck your blood. You're gonna Diablerize.
Walking it back.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. The bad transition game need not make sense, by the way. So, if it makes sense, you're not doing a bad transition. I shouldn't have explained that. That was terrible. Now it's almost a sensical transition. Like there's a logic there. Gross. Speaking of sensical. Michael.
Yes, I am Michael. This has been a time. I hate this guy. Yes, you'd find me online at Sub-Zero Jalapeno, various places. Saturday on Spectrum TTRPG. 11. I can never remember the same time every week, but 11:30 Pacific. I will be a sassy Power Ranger.
Hot.
Yes. And theoretically, finally on Sunday, we'll finally start recording. We're doing a pre-record for our next show.
Right on.
Yeah. It's gonna be a horror game, because here we go, I guess.
Woo.
Yeah. More horror, more better. So speaking of more horror, more better. How's it going, El?
Hey. Hey, everybody. So, current things I have to plug. First of all, you can find me at Sapphic Soulful or at Soulful Sapphic, general on the social medias. I've been playing Jaq Durant, who is having a great time. Totally, everything is great. And their current to-do list has like 3 items about Ashley because they really just want Ashley to like them. So that's where they are.
I
right
love
now.
that for you.
That's
Yeah.
like challenge mode right there. That's
Oh, I
playing
know.
VTM
it
on.
took Rory a solid like 5 years. Yeah.
I don't know if you even still won over Ashley. Did you hear that comment about the Cheetos earlier? Oof, that was
Yeah.
brutal. Yeah.
That's
And
mom
That's
being
Ashley's
lovely.
way of being nice.
Yeah.
Ha!
That's just
My-
mom expressing affection.
Yeah.
Fair.
My current things that I have to plug. This Monday at, I believe it should be 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. I will be playing on Bardic Inspiration Network. We've got Tales of Exandria, Swords of Byrodin. We are in Five Nights at Freddy's in Exandria, in Stingorn. It is Five Nights at Freddy's. We are
Five
experiencing
Nights
the
at
horrors of Five Nights at Freddy's. Come
Oh
watch
my
us.
5 nights at Tits with Taldore.
Yes, we also have an amnesiac man who thinks that he is Vaxeldan coming along with us.
I love that
That's
for
the
us.
Maxwell
He
Steve.
looks like Bob Belcher from Bob's Burgers. And we are all trapped in this Five Nights at Freddy's location in Singorn. Come see how that happens.
I love that for you. Speaking
Yeah.
of Five Nights
how
at
this
Freddy's
happened.
horror.
Oh, I have
No.
one more thing to plug.
Oh,
No.
Go ahead. Yeah, plug it.
No, go.
Real quick, Lantern Light Adventures on our YouTube. We have the full season of Girl by Moonlight, An Empty Dream, now online. So if you want to see heartwarming found family and also heartbreaking, tragic Yuri everywhere, they are sad, tragic lesbians because it's a magical girl series.
Those are like
Come-
3 of
Love
my
it.
favorite things.
Come watch all of season 1. Season 2 has been announced. We are in pre-production for that, so you can experience that wonderful journey once you get caught up with season 1 on Lantern Night Adventures on YouTube.
Speaking of sad lesbians, Bev, who are you?
No, a proper bad transition. Hey, I am the magical Mr. Mephisto. Mephisto, if you are into
If you
brevity,
nasty.
I'm a resident spooky kid is who likes all of the horror things everywhere. Obviously running this game here on this Twitch channel. You can find me on most of the socials at Mephisto Mori. I am on a streaming streak. This is day 9 of the streak as I build my way up to my birthday stream, which is 16 days away, I believe. So appropriate that this is episode 16. I will be doing that. I will continue to be streaming all the way up until my birthday. I will not be streaming on my actual birthday, but the night before will be the kind of, because I'm gonna hang out in reality with people. Yeah, I know. I'm pathetic. But the birthday eve will kind of be the night I pull out all the stops, and by all the stops, it probably just means like I play one of my favorite horror games, and we really get deep into it.
Is it Five Nights at Freddy's?
It is not. Whilst I love that an indie horror game is now a cultural artifact, I think the original game is terrible, and most of the things to come out of it are terrible.
Yeah.
But again,
great.
indie horror game makes tons of money, and like a person just kind of remade the same game like 6 times and now gets to make games forever, and hey, that's really dope. I'm not mad about that. I actually really like that. Sounded flippant, but it was not. I actually think that's really awesome. Like that, it really is. That's the dream. If only I could make 6 exactly the same VTM games, and then for the rest of my life, write VTM games, I totally would, even if they're bad. But they're not bad. This game is actually great, so you should be following it, and liking and subscribing and telling all your friends about it.
And nominating it for awards.
Right, Crit Awards coming up,
The
so you
Crit
should do
Award.
that.
Yes.
I will be at Gen Con. I think all of us will be that you see here right now. I will be
At
running.
least
It's
75%
debatable.
of us. Yeah.
75%.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence.
So I'll be running 2 vampire games
Thinking about
and
reality
another
being
game.
deceptive.
I don't know if they've announced it yet, but I'll be running 2 vampire games. So yeah, this time rather than running pre-gen adventures, I get to run ones that I have written myself. So if you like my panache for the really weird, high strangeness, tongue in cheek, yeah, prepare your bodies and come play in one of my games.
Hell
you
yeah.
you
If
won't
you like
regret it.
puns and extreme sports and Power Rangers, hi.
Kind of love it, honestly.
If you like weird adventures that are kind of trippy, or horror where you're getting stalked by a terrifying monster, but you're
Yes.
also G.I. Joes, play my games.
Yeah.
If you are an AP that's going to Gen Con and you want to talk about your game, I might be convinced to go.
Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
be
there's-
at PAX East.
I want to talk about my game. I have games. I'm an AP.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do have a couple secret projects coming up.
Ooh.
I'm hoping to upgrade my sound equipment to do that. But Michael knows about one of my secret projects.
Oh yeah, I do.
So it was in the stage of percolating for a while. It's moved on to actually like mapping it out. Because I'm injured, I've actually had time to work on my projects.
Weird how that happens.
I know. It's like, oh, money is terrifying, but also I'm injured, so I get to write. It's kind of amazing and terrifying. So yeah, I'm rambling on as I'm known to do. Shelly, look, I don't want. I hate. Don't do that. Don't. No. Anyway, wrapping up. I just want to say thank you for watching us. If you made it this far, truly, you are.
Charles. Thank you, Charles.
Yeah, thank you, Charles, for making it this far.
You are all Charles in our hearts.
But
Yeah.
but I will say, chat gang, thank you so much for watching us tonight. Remember to drink your milk and pay your taxes. Be excellent to yourselves and each other. We will catch you next time. Same vampire place, same vampire time. Let's keep this streak going. Good night, everybody.
Diablerie.
Diablerie. Diablerie.